Hello, everybody, and welcome to Save or Die Outcasts. We are here with a special guest today, and we're going to pick up, not actually with the guest, we're going to pick up in the tavern where the rest of the party is. We've got Arrakis, we've got Renatus, and we've got Garp, now August, hanging out in the tavern. And Grau is not here. It's getting late, and he's not here.
It's Grau's really missing out on these the pies they've got on the menu tonight. I think he's going to be pretty upset when he realizes he's missed these.
Do you know where he went, Arrakis?
Say that again?
Where did he go?
I don't know. I think he just said he was going for a look around the city.
When was the last time one of you saw him? Wait, what did you guys do today?
Yeah, what do you mean today? I mean, we got up. We had something to eat, so I had something to drink, and now I'm wasting my time talking to you. What do you mean? What have I done today?
When was the last time you saw Grau?
Must have been a few hours ago.
Breakfast, I think, yeah.
Oh, so he's fine. He's just, well, he's a grown boy. He can look after himself, right? It's not like we're in a city dedicated to the hunting of druids or anything.
I'm sure he's... Well, maybe he's not fine. I mean...
When did you go find him?
He's been out for a while. We should give it another hour or something. Maybe have one more drink and see if he turns up.
Let's have another drink, and then we can go to all the pastry shops and see if we can find this this bear man.
He's probably just, found somewhere warm in an alley with some pies or whatever, and he's just chilling there. But let's get another drink first. I mean, we're not in any state to look for him right now anyway.
You guys have a far too optimistic outlook here. Our boy is missing. And you're just like, let's get a pie and a drink? Like, what the fuck?
Well, I said they think that he might be at the pie shop. That's where Grau usually goes.
He's been missing for like a few hours, though. It's... we can't get too worried yet. It's not like him, sure, but, he's changing. He's evolving. He's growing.
No, somebody's usually with him, though.
Yeah, he's never alone.
How did we let him go alone?
Wait, how did he get out?
What do you mean? How did he get out?
What do you mean, get out?
Like, usually he's a vulnerable child-like man-child. We need to protect. Like, usually one of us is with him. Wait, who saw him last? And I point my finger at August, and I'm like, when did you see him?
A few hours ago here at the bar. He got up and left.
Did he say anything before he left?
Like, I don't remember. I don't think so. I was having a pint.
Okay. I'll turn to Arrakis. And when was the last time you saw him?
I think at the same time I was studying my spells after waking up, so I wasn't paying too much attention. I thought he just went out for a wander.
Yeah, we went to a fancy meal together, me, Grau, and Stacy, and I tried to teach him table manners, but then, Grau was Grau, and he left, and that's the last time I saw him.
Wait, you went off
I think it's around...
The only druid in like 1,000 miles who was born a bear wander off into a holy city alone?
He's his own man. I'm not his keeper.
We're all his keeper. He's fucking stupid. He doesn't know how it works. He's going to be like, hi,
when's the last time you saw him?
I'm a bear. You want to be my friend? And he's going to hug someone. And then they're going to be like, druid, and they'll kill him.
You've been wrapped up in your own shit for a while now. Grau's learning. He's matured a lot in the last couple of months. He's not as helpless as maybe you remember.
No, he's not helpless, but maybe in the forest. I don't know if you've looked around. I didn't see a fucking tree for, ever. Maybe a tree over by one of the temples. But we're in a city. There's only rocks here. Grau doesn't do rocks.
I think it's around this time that we're going to switch the scene over to a nearby person sitting at a nearby table, standing in a nearby doorway. Destiny, where are you in all of this?
Can you give me just a quick confirmation of the last thing I sent you to make sure that we're on the same page for this? I'm reading all this right, or...
Did you send him a fucking book?
No, so that last message was the important one. Yeah, so I understand what's going on here.
Send all of
Trying
our
to figure out
guests
if I need to
huge
PvP all the
details.
party or just one at a time.
Just one of them, yeah. No, we're not murder hobos in this campaign.
Yet.
Not yet.
Yet.
You've got houses.
That's
Places
right.
that you
Yeah,
rent.
we're okay.
Well, actually, we've been murder hobos and we've evolved and come out the other side, and now we're no longer murder hobos, right?
We murder frogs.
Based.
We're
That's
frog
true.
murdering. We're murder hobos for frogs. I don't know how you would say that.
We're frog
We're
murderers. We're just frog murderers.
Yeah.
Wait, did you see my last message, Koibu?
Yeah, I sent you another one. Did you see it?
No, I saw the one short one you thing, but not the
As
response to
I'm
my last.
sitting at this table, I'm like, guys, you ever get that like creepy feel in the back of your neck, like you're being watched?
No,
All the
I
time.
don't. I don't get that.
All the time, literally. I can't.
Just have a
Whenever
really
I sit
bad
still.
vibe. I just have a really bad vibe, like something interesting is about to happen.
What do you mean? Look around you. Everyone in here is boring. Nothing interesting is going to happen.
But you've never been like walking home alone at night and you get that like feel in the back of your neck like you're being watched and you see like a fox run out of a bush or something.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I'm
Where
getting
the
that
fuck do you
feeling
live
right
that
now.
a fox is running out of the bush? You're in.
Bro,
the
we live in a
city.
swamp. What the fuck do you
Oh,
want from
sorry.
me?
I thought you were talking. Sorry.
There's foxes in the city in Ireland.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're like raccoons. They basically knock your bins over and eat your shit.
Jesus. So you guys have foxes and we have fucking raccoons running around.
Listen, Ren, I've been sitting in this tavern all day now. Maybe even 2 days, and nothing interesting's happened yet. So don't worry about it too
That's
much.
what I'm saying. In all the good stories, in all the good legends, in all the good things, the heroes are sitting around, nothing's going on, and then bam, something out of nowhere snaps them. I can feel it. It's coming up at the back of my neck, man. I can't explain it. Look,
It's maybe
I could be
like
wrong.
it's like a narrative device in the tales, you know, because it's like everything's fine, everyone's happy, they're just discussing, they're doing their normal thing, and then bam, something happens. Like it makes for a good story, but that's not how real life works.
Did you
Am I
guys
good to
figure it
go?
out yet?
I am figured out.
Okay.
right,
All right.
and it's at this.
What are you
moment-
gonna do, buddy?
Well,
Friend in the shadows.
you guys are at a table in like the center of the tavern, I guess. You're not like hidden in a corner or anything.
Yeah, we're not hidden.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I'd say in the table almost a couple chairs away from you is a portly, stout man whose cheeks are reddened, tinted, evidence of the amount of alcohol he's been consuming. And it becomes quite obvious that overhearing your conversation. And I think I take a swig of my beer, I give a hearty chuckle, and I lean over. And I ask you guys, I say, you guys looking for a friend? What's going on over here?
You know, yeah, our friend's gone missing. He's wandering around. I'm sure it's fine. What's it to you anyway?
Have you seen him? He looks like I try to think which form he was in. He's like a human with a lot of hair, and he's a big guy.
Why would this guy have seen him? He's just been in the pub all day.
Okay. This is a bit weird, Koibu, but
Is there a smell of alcohol emanating from this red-cheeked man? Like, does he got a stench about him?
Koibu would have to answer that question. I imagine I would. He's
How long you
drinking
been
some
drinking,
alcohol.
basically? If you've been drinking a while, it starts to
You get the
stick to you.
sweats.
Yeah. Are you slurring your speech? Or are you like...
Oh, wait.
We're just waiting on the DMs chat. I'm sorry.
I totally, by the way, when he walked up, I totally misinterpreted what he was saying. It's like, are you guys looking for a friend? I thought he was propositioning us.
He still might be.
Like, hang on a
Jesus
minute.
Christ.
This guy's like 35. What's he doing in this tavern?
I don't get that meme.
How do I?
Yeah, I guess
We're-
I'll mention that I came from work. I've been had a long day at the office. I don't know, what do people do for jobs here in Normalsville? Maybe
Are you a laborer?
Peasants, tradesmen, craftsmen. It depends on your job.
I
but
think it would be
same
some sort of. I
shit.
think it would be like a middle class or like a some artist, not like a super like a blacksmith kind of guy or some sort of craftsman. Something that would be
Skilled
befitting of
laborer.
a portly, chubby guy. Yeah, and I would have the scars and the markings on my hands, and maybe cheeks to prove it. I would say that I was coming from the whatever blacksmith or a tailoring place might be nearby. I think I might have noticed your friend wandering down the street earlier, actually.
You see, Arrakis? I told you.
What do you mean?
Then I'll.
What do you mean? He saw a human, a hairy guy walking down the street. What makes you think it's our guy?
Well, can
My
you describe a
description.
bit more about him? I don't know. Maybe
I'll describe.
I know the
Grau to
people
a
of this
T.
town pretty well. I've done a lot of business for the people around here, so I tend to remember customers pretty well, and I definitely remember those that I haven't seen. And I don't feel like I'd seen this guy before. But have any other information about him?
What do you know about him? Why are you approaching our table? Who are you?
Well, listen, if it was him, he would have looked pretty confused, probably. He's probably wandering around, like maybe an air of wonder about him that you wouldn't see on your average, like, older guy. You know, he's unusual. He'd stand out. Maybe you did see him. Maybe that's why you're mentioning it.
Well, it did seem a tad unusual, but I'm not one for memorizing facial expressions, so I don't know if I could have identified a sense of wonder or anything on this man's face other than noticing there was a hairy human that I had sold a cloak to walking down the sidewalk. I was just drinking over here and I heard you guys saying you were looking for him, and if I could help you out and if perhaps there might be a little bit of coin in it for me, maybe I can point you in his direction.
Well, hey, if you can
Sure.
if you can find him, we've got some coin for you.
Well, do you want to go out and take a gander at where I saw him wandering last? Maybe we can go
let's
and
go.
find the guy. Also, before I
sure.
send you off in that direction, let's discuss. What do you think? What is finding the location of your friend worth to you?
I reach in my pockets, empty.
Well, friendship is priceless. That much is true. But friends can be replaced. I'd say it's worth. I reach into my pocket and I grab however much gold is there. Which is... checking character sheet... 2 gold.
Okay, that's a lot of money. It's 200
I
bucks.
scratch my head and I say, friendship is priceless, but it's a funny world that priceless and worthless oftentimes go hand in hand with one another. I don't think I can
Yeah.
pay my taxes with a priceless friendship with you lot.
It's all right,
you guys do
Arrakis
for
is our
work
money
around here? You
bags.
guys don't have any gold at all between the three of you.
We've got gold. Don't worry about that. Listen, I'm not going to pay you 20 gold to find my friend if he's just in the alley around the back of the pub. If he's further away, then we can talk about some more. But look, I've got 5 gold for you for now.
I look at the 5 gold, I guess, you placed on the table.
Yeah.
Anybody else who thinks it's worth finding their friend?
No, 5 gold is like $500, right?
Yeah.
I'm a tailor guy, okay? I'm not like a brokey, but okay. Okay, that's fine. 5.
I got no money. We're poor.
We're a
I
little broke
sigh.
at the moment. Tell you what,
good.
I turn to Arrakis and I say, can we double that if he actually finds him?
If we
It depends if
he's
Grau's
in trouble.
lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he might not even be lost. Like I said, he's
We
just
haven't seen him for a
exploring
few
the
hours.
city.
I will
Actually,
say, he
this
did look like
could
a
be a
man who didn't
very-
have a destination in mind as he was wandering down that sidewalk, but
Fair.
All right, sir. What is your name?
I'm Bartholomew the tailor.
Okay, you're Bartholomew.
Nice
All
to
right,
meet
my
you,
name is
Bartholomew.
my name's
That's too many
August.
syllables. And I
This
call
is-
you Bart.
What's your names? I
My
heard
name's
August.
August. This is Sakara. I point to the wizard.
I raised my hand.
And this is Ren. Nice to meet
Renatus
you.
Fur. At your service, sir.
Okay.
I call him
August,
Ren.
Sakara, Ren. Okay.
That's it.
And you're Bartholomew.
And we're looking for Grau.
Tailor. Indeed, I am. The name of your friend is Grau. What an odd name. Well,
He's
perhaps
from
let's.
far away.
I see the 5 gold on the table. You know what? If I can add my drinks to the tab, you got yourself a deal. If you double it, if we find him.
Perfect. Let's do it.
I drink the rest of my alcohol. I set it on the table, and then I stand ready to leave when you guys are.
All right. I drain
Right.
my drink and I stand up. And I ask Bartholomew, do you have a nickname? Something short? Like Bart? Barty?
Barto.
Why would I have a nickname? You call me Bartholomew. We don't need nicknames. We're not on that close of a.
Don't be
Oh,
rude.
yeah, let's go.
Physicist.
I was like, I
Quick,
don't
let's
wanna,
find
if
your
we get
friend
attacked-
before he
if we get-
vanishes
if we
into
get-
the-
Hold on. If we get attacked by a thief, I don't want to be like, Bartholomew, watch out. I want to say, watch out, Bart. You know, like I don't want to fucking recite a poem every time I have to talk to you.
Don't be rude to the man, Ren. We only just met him. There's no need to be insulting his name.
Fine.
I think it's
Oh,
a
names are
fine
cool.
name, Bartholomew. I pat you on the back.
All right, let's go. I walk out of the thing.
I pick up my
Alright.
glaive and I will. Wait, do we have to give the glaive in this city? We don't.
No.
I
No,
pick up my
only if
glaive
you're
and I
heading to
follow
the
you.
inner city. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get going.
All right. You head out into the city.
Does Bartholomew have any weapons as we're walking out? I'm gonna give him like a good look over. Can you describe him to me besides more than like, red face, portly man? I'm gonna check your, are you a human?
He's a
I
human
believe-
with clothes and he does have a weapon at his side. I think an arming sword, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think he'll be a fat dude. He'll have markings and everything on his hands, consistent with what you might find for a man that tailors clothes all day. He appears to be pretty portly, but also pretty strong. He's not just a fat dude; he's a fat big guy. Okay. He appears to be wearing. Probably like an ordinary outfit with an arming sword at his side. I think is what would be saying. Yeah.
Good to know.
As we head out into the street, as we're heading down, I guess I'm going to walk to the right in the direction, and I assume you guys are following me.
We'll follow.
As I'm walking down the street, and we're out of earshot, I guess, of anybody at the tavern, I'll kind of like whisper back to my friend, not my friends. Oof, sorry, I'll whisper back to the losers that are following me. I'll say, not to get too much into it, but there is a guild here that I work with that I tailor specially made outfits for. These people know quite a bit about a lot of the stuff that goes on in the city. If you could tell me any more information about your friend or perhaps what you guys are doing here, or as much as you trust me to, I might be able to ask him, and he might be able to give me a lot of information about your friend.
What's
And then we'll
the
continue to
guild,
walk
if I
through
may
this.
ask?
If I told you the guild, it wouldn't really do well for my business with them. I'm sure you understand. I also understand if you don't feel comfortable telling me.
What kind of information are you looking for, though?
Well, I don't know. What do you guys do for work? What's your friend here for? What could he have been going to, or what was he wandering off for? Or did he say anything weird before he left? Perhaps. I know
didn't
the
say
city
anything.
pretty well. I've
He
lived
didn't
here my
say
entire
anything
life.
weird. We're working for a wizard to bring some clerics back. She just wants to talk to them. So basically, we're just doing a go fetch mission.
We're also just general adventurers. We tend to follow where news is. If we hear of a dungeon or if we hear of loot or jobs or anything, we kind of
Money.
go where we're needed.
Our friend here,
Interesting.
he is, he's strange. He grew up, far away in pretty secluded, wooded area. This is maybe his first time in a real city. So that's what I'm saying about the wonder, He doesn't really understand what he's looking at. He's probably wandering around, getting confused. That's the
Yeah.
most discernible thing about him.
Did you ever hear of Greystoke, the forestman, who grew up in the woods? He's a bit like that. He never really spent time around people or in cities.
Interesting. So you have no idea where he's headed? He didn't say anything strange? Or what he was going out to do? Or how long has this fellow been traveling with you?
We've
Few
been with him
years?
for a while now.
Couple of
yeah.
years now, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Okay. As we
Hang on.
approach, I'd like to approach, as we're approaching a building that, okay, hold on, let me communicate, or we're walking, talking,
This the
Well,
Druid
this
Fight
is-
Club.
While this is happening, I'll whisper sort of to Arrakis while we're walking quiet, and I'll say, "This guy's asking a lot of questions and isn't giving us a lot of intel.
It's a bit strange. But,
Give me a bad vibe."
The guild he's talking about, he must be talking about like a thieves guild or something, right? Shouldn't you know what he's talking about? Shouldn't...
I didn't grow up a thief.
My
I'm a noble,
apologies.
remember?
Sure, you're right. I thought maybe you'd still pick up on the signs, though. You can't just mean the Tailors Guild.
Well, I'm a thief of the wilds, I pickpocket and I survive by hiding and fighting. I don't really do the city stuff. I'm not a street urchin. That's a whole different ballgame. I didn't grow up in an orphanage with a nice man promising me gold if I ran off and picked pockets for him, like in that one story.
I do know that story, but you shouldn't overplay that situation, because I'd say your upbringing was probably better than that. But
A lot better.
this guy, I don't really know how we can trust him, but there's clearly some subtext here. We don't have all the information. It doesn't make sense. You know, just because we were saying we were looking for our friend.
Yeah. This is a very long conversation to have whispering while we're walking down a road.
Yeah.
As we stop for a moment, I look back and I say real quick, looking at the 5 gold in my hand, I say, okay, well, and then I kind of look around nervously up and down the street, and I say, ordinarily I would deliver some of the things that I create to some of the people that work for this guild here. If you give me a moment, I can step inside. One of them might be in this building here, and I can ask them. They might know more about your friend. I hold the 5 gold up. I say, I'll keep this as a token for the connection, and I trust that if he helps you find your friend, you'll pay him an additional 5 gold as well. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to step in here, and he should come out soon. You'll definitely recognize him, and he'll recognize you guys.
What's the situation with this building, Neil? What does it look like? Because this is like such a strange interaction here. What does this building seem like?
It's dark. It looks like an empty tenement building.
Okay.
You know,
I would like to, when he goes into this building, I would like to try to like detect noise and listen in, like, see if I can hear what goes on.
Like
in
if he's
there.
talking to someone or whatever.
absolutely. Yeah, give me a detect noise check.
Here you go. This is gonna be a great roll. Okay, my total.
Wait,
45.
do I want to see this roll, or
Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm saying should it be kept secret from me is what I'm saying.
Don't worry,
yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
fine.
Actually, yeah, I guess I'll. Boom! Nailed it.
Good.
Easy.
Yeah. He steps into this building. The door closes. There's a couple of sounds. You stand close to the door. You put your ear to it. You can hear the casting of a spell inside. The unmistakable words of an arcane tongue, twisting some sort of magic.
I keep this to myself for now.
Okay. Moments later, a little bit more than moments later, the door will reopen, and there will be just as you said, a completely different person standing there before you. What does this person look like? This is this the elf that we're talked about?
Yep, but I imagine I would have some sort of hooded cloak on or something so that that's not immediately obvious to everybody in the city, right? But I imagine if you were looking at me head on, it would probably be pretty obvious because my features would be simply stunning and my ears would look weird.
Standing there with hood up. But when you're looking into the cloak, you can see the distinctive facial features that tell you that you are toe-to-toe with a full-blooded elven male.
I look around for Bartholomew. He's just not there.
He went into the darkened building.
A full-blooded elf? Oh my god.
Full-blooded elf.
Now, to remind me here, elves are basically hunted in this kingdom, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Basically hunted?
Like, well, what I mean is...
I mean, there was a mild genocide of their entire
Basically
people and
hunted?
population.
He didn't say that out loud, did he?
Yeah, that's
No, I didn't
dismissive.
say that. I didn't say that out loud. This is me
Better
double
not.
checking the lore of the region.
Yeah, the lore is that maybe not every elf is a bad elf, but enough of them are bad that they're just going to round them all up. You know, that Firefly organization, a bunch of terrorists and insurgents that they are. There's a... Yeah.
I speak. I say, hello, are you Bart's friend?
Well, real quick, what is this? What does this look like? Interaction.
Right. Little complicated here.
So while they're trying to figure that out, I'm going to give you like Renatus's feeling. Like, the hell is there an elf doing in this city? Like, they're essentially hunted to extinction, driven to the wilds. This guy's, I mean, sure, he's wearing a cloak, but he's in the city. I mean, I'm sure there's some elves who live in the fringe of society, maybe half elves and stuff, but this is kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen a full-blooded elf before. I think we've only seen half-elves.
Yep.
Yeah. I take a step closer towards the elf into the shadows as they come forward, like instinctively understanding that this is secretive.
Yeah. I'll take a step forward as well. I'll kind of huddle around the doorway, but in a casual manner, like You know what I mean? I'm leaning.
Right, I mean, I think Arrakis was suspicious that this guy was just randomly talking to us, but the fact that he's an elf and August is a half-elf... Autumn is a half-elf and Grau is a druid, like, all of a sudden, it's a little bit
Things
too
are clicking.
coincidental for it to be just, like, a random guy. So, yeah, let's take a step forward and say, what is this? Do you know Grau?
Okay. I stare forward at a lot of you, and I look down the street. I look at Ren knowingly, and I nod my head. I think you should get an understanding that I understand that he probably heard me cast a spell, and then I'll invite the three of them inside this building for a moment so that we can chat, hopefully quietly.
Yeah.
I'll go inside.
We'll make our way in, I guess.
I close the door behind
Artie
me.
goes in.
Is it
look
just like a
around.
regular door in like a
Closes.
regular alley, Koibu? Where are we at?
It's a regular door in a regular house. It's got, a little bit of dust all over it. All the furniture's been pulled out. You get the impression that this is like an abandoned building. Maybe it's condemned. You don't see any like major structural damage, but
Are we in like a
Certainly
more
nobody's been
abandoned part of
living in here.
town? Like when we were walking here, we didn't really see too many people on the street and whatnot, or
no, you're like, only a few hundred feet down from the bar.
Okay.
So it's not a super abandoned part of town.
this is just an abandoned place?
But, wars tend to displace populations and lower populations. So there just happens to be more abandoned houses these days.
As soon as going into this building, I look around for Bartholomew. Presumably he's in here somewhere, so I'm looking around just to make sure we're not getting flanked or tricked or ambushed or something.
Yeah, you can take a look around. Bartholomew is not obvious anywhere. He might have stepped further in, or he might have taken up some sort of hidden position. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's like a
just gonna
rafter that
roll-
he's hiding in.
I'm just rolling a perception check. I'm trying to work out exits from this building and if this guy might be hiding somewhere.
Yeah, there's a bunch of windows at ground level that have shutters on them that are closed, but you could, if you threw yourself through the shutters, you would probably break them.
Okay.
There is stairs that go up to the second floor. There are doors that go into rooms further back on the ground level.
They're closed.
And there is one of them is open that leads to a hallway, but then beyond that, it's just too dark in the hallway to see what's back there. Another one is closed. And you can see there's a like a hatch that leads down to a cellar where you would keep your food to keep it as fresh as possible.
Okay, cool.
In the the corner of the room, I think you guys would have noticed this, and I can, shit.
Oh, hello. Did my sound die?
No. You cut off.
Nope, you're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there, if you look around with that perception check, actually, Nick,
Yeah.
you will see an unconscious human.
Or how about a
laid
blanket
out.
covering an unconscious human? I'll walk over as I see. So as I see, Nick's character is the one named Ren, or
No,
Arrakis.
Sakara is
Sakara.
my name that I've given you. Yeah, Sakara.
is the name that you've given me. Okay, gotcha. As I see you kind of like leaning around, and I see that you are not the most trustworthy person in the world, or you see that you don't feel that I am the most trustworthy person in the world, I'll begin to speak. As I move to the corner of the room, I will kneel towards the ground a bit, and I will remove a rucksack or a blanket, essentially, that I'd thrown over a man who appears to be knocked unconscious with his hands bound behind his back, and I will speak. I will say, "It is I am Bartholomew, if you're looking for somebody else. I understand that you don't trust me much right now. Give me a few moments and I can explain, but I need your help. And I think your friend may have been involved in something that happened to me and my friends earlier."
You are Bartholomew?
I'll take
nod
this
my
moment to say, like, I did hear him cast a spell when I was listening at the door. He could have cast some sort of perception filter, like the spells you use, Sakara.
Ah, you are a wizard, I say, noticing you're not wearing robes.
Somewhat of a
I don't
wizard.
think- I don't
More
think
than
the elves
most,
wear the
not as much as others. I was indeed under an illusion, or I guess I would say you were under an illusion. I casted an altar image earlier. The spell that you heard me cast, and then I looked to Ren, who was the name given to me.
Yep.
It's an ESP spell, so that I can read your thoughts, that I can feel your emotions, so that I can see if you are a friend or foe. I think I've deemed you guys to be trustworthy enough. that I feel comfortable revealing to you what I'm doing here and what I think your friend might have been up to figure out if I can get some answers for what happened to my friends, and perhaps I can help you in the process.
Okay,
I'll point to the man who is
listening.
laying unconscious. Oh, God.
Sorry, yeah, well listening.
Without divulging too much information, and perhaps I can share more later, my friends and I were ambushed by a collection of warriors that stepped out of a portal. And this man here, who is laying unconscious, told me that he saw what I believe to be is your friend leaving the scene of the crime. Described what your friend is pretty accurately. And I'm curious why your friend would have been in this area when we were ambushed, what he might know about said ambush. Curious what your guys' relationship is with this person and what you understand about him.
Well, before we tell you that, who was he with? Your friends? Who are your friends?
I look around a bit. I look outside. I look to you guys. I say, so I've told you now that I've casted an ESP spell, so I can be vocal about it. So I say, have you heard of the Fireflies? And then I'm kind of trying to get a sense of what your immediate surface level emotions are when I utter that phrase. If they're one of terror, fear.
So for Ren,
Indifference.
you'll feel like a slight bit of guilt because he got one of the Fireflies arrested, but also a little bit of anger because he wants to catch another Firefly to get access to his wife. And you'll also kind of just feel like a general ambivalence. He doesn't really care beyond that.
Yeah, for August, you're gonna get. He feels like a bit of fear. He kind of feels like the Fireflies are.
Just as a real quick thing, this is, I think ESP only gives me very surface level thoughts, so you don't have to reveal more than just like a couple of words if you want to.
Yeah, you'll get like fear and ambition.
I think Sakara just feels like understanding, like it's starting to click into place now. You're with the Fireflies, Grau was looking for the Fireflies, and this now makes sense.
Okay. Well, essentially, my group of friends were attempting to cause a bit of mayhem tonight. We were up to a tad bit of vandalism, and unfortunately our plans were cut brutally short by the entrance of Varasi warriors through an interdimensional portal to the basement we were meeting.
That's high-level magic.
That does not sound good.
It's
I
terrifying.
agree, it was not good. It was very much not good, and more pressing, more not good, is that all three of my traveling companions have now been captured, and I must find a way to free these people before they are taken off to the capital for interrogation.
And you
Or
think
at
Grau's
worst,
with them?
Well, this young man here, and I'm looking, he's still knocked out, right?
Yeah. He'll be out for a couple of hours probably.
Jesus, okay.
Is this guy your friend, or is he one of the ambushes?
Oh, I shake my head. Some lowly human who just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time and saw what I needed him to see.
Oh,
Tell me that they'd seen your friend leaving the area. But he essentially told me that there was a small, or I guess there was a human gnomish looking figure, I guess with a lot of hair that seemed to match the description of your friend, heading for a nearby tavern that I happened to find you guys in, and that's how I found you guys, and just moved around the tavern listening in to see who might have been speaking of him, and I stumbled into your lot.
And did our friend leave willingly? Did he leave under his own power? Was he captured? Like what?
Seemed to me that this guy here told me that he was merely walking away. I don't know if it's possible for you guys to glean any more information from this man than I was able to with any sort of spells or trickery, but fortunately my bag of tricks is quite limited. I am not
All right. See if we can wake him up. Would there be any possible way to wake him up, Neil?
You can give him a little bit of a shake, find some water to splash on him.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, see
try
if
to get
you
my
can.
water
It'll
skin
take
and
a
splash a
while.
bit of water on him and slap his face a little.
Sure, you
put him
can
in a comfy
rouse
position.
the gentleman. He'll eventually sort of come to and look around, blurry-eyed, putting a hand to his head. Oh,
I will put
God.
a piece of before he wakes up. I'll put a piece of cloth over his head so he can't see. Sorry, he doesn't know what we look like. No, it's his
Over
mouth
his
is clear.
eyes.
It's just his eyes.
Eyes, right? Okay.
Sorry.
Then he'll. Okay. So you put some cloth over his eyes, then you wake him up. He will begin to kind of mutter, put his hand to his head, try to move the cloth off his face, but I think you must be holding it tight.
I will prevent him from doing that, and I'll say, "It's better if you don't see our faces."
Look,
I'll say that.
Hey.
Shh.
Hey,
You're not in
buddies,
danger.
look.
You're not in danger. Shh. The cloth is to keep
Okay.
you safe. If you don't know what we look like, you won't be in danger. You'll get
It
to go
was
home.
real dark. I didn't see nothing.
You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, repeat after me. I wasn't even there that day. I didn't see anything.
I
You have a
wasn't
wife?
even there that day. I didn't see anything.
Do you have a wife? No.
Do you have a wife? No.
I shake him. Listen, you little fuck. This is serious. You could die. Does he say that back to me?
No. He keeps his mouth shut.
Listen, do you have a wife? Do you have a family?
I have family.
Do you want to see them again?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Keep this goddamn cloth on your head.
Yes, sir.
What? Now, this guy in this room told me that you saw a hairy dude who looked like a human or a gnome or something walking away from something. So tell me everything you know.
All right. So I was in my window, having a glass of wine, mulling over life. I look down because I live on the 3rd floor. And I see there's this dude who's just in an alleyway and he's kind of bumbling around with a dumb expression on his face. I'm just gazing at this dude, sipping some wine, watching the moonlight. And he does this quick look around, looks all over the place. I kind of lean back in the window. I don't want to see that I'm watching him. I'm not normally the sort of person to spy on people, right? This is
Listen,
a normal
don't care.
thing.
I don't care if you like to watch people when they're getting
don't.
naked.
I don't.
Literally, listen, you can peep on me for all I care. Just tell me what happened to my friend.
Well, he did this weird, looking around as if he's, trying to hide something. And then he stepped into the alleyway. And before my very eyes, because I could see down the alleyway from my house, he just turned into a fucking gnome. And then he walks down the alleyway, and I'm standing there flabbergasted, like, what the fuck is that shit? Just a person turned into, is he a wizard? Is he a shapeshifter? Is he some sort of, gnomish werewolf thing? I just don't know. So I slam my wine down. And I head down to the ground floor, and I start to, maybe think about going down the alleyway, but it's scary,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I haven't been drinking that much, but I really want the most exciting thing I've ever seen happen. And he didn't have any veracity, anything on him. He just looked like a regular dude. But my feet got real cold, and so I didn't go. And then there was some noise, and then a few minutes later, this person came coming down the alley towards me. And I started talking to him, being like, hey, did you see the guy who shapeshifted heading down that way? Was he down there? And then he tossed me into a building nearby. And then I saw he had he looked like an elf. And then he asked me some questions. And I said that the weird shapeshifting human elf, gnome person had been like heading towards a tavern. And then he changed his mind and went back in a different direction all of a sudden. And then I woke up here.
Okay. What you saw was an illusionist. He...
Renegade wizard?
I turn to Arrakis, and I give him a meaningful look as I place my hand on my dagger.
I say.
I'm like, I need your help here, is like the look I'm giving you.
Yeah. Yes, a rogue wizard. One from my school. We're looking for him.
Oh, wow.
This chap here said something about an ambush. An attack, a portal. You didn't mention any of that.
I
shake
don't know
my head
nothing
and I
about that,
say,
sir.
This guy won't know anything about that. He's just merely an idiot standing outside again who happened to be in the wrong place at the right time for me. I doubt he witnessed
That's
anything
right.
more than...
Right place at
I'm
the
just-
right time as far as we're concerned. Here. I'm going to give you some tea. It's going to make you fall asleep, and then you're going to wake up here alone. You're going to be perfectly safe. And I take out one of my... I have a tea set, and I'll give him one that makes him all sleepy, and then I will hit him really fucking hard in the head so he goes to sleep.
Magic tea. That's impressive tea you've got there, Ren. Fast acting. So, as interesting as that was, I turn to Bartholomew and say, I'm struggling to see... Well, there's two things missing here. One, who knocked this guy out? And two, what does that story of his have to do with the story of yours?
Well, I mean, I am the person who knocked him out. If that wasn't obvious enough, the person who brought him here. I asked him a few questions, or I suppose I brought him here, asked him questions, and then knocked him out. And as for what the story has to do with Grau, I take a look outside just real quick to make sure we haven't drawn any attention. Then I look back to the party and I say, one of the people that was working in our cell was actually a half-elf cousin of mine, the name of Forrest. None of you have heard him before, have you? Or heard of him before?
We have.
Yeah, we have actually.
What is the general feeling I get when that name is brought up, if my ESP is still active?
Well, surprised, since I thought he was rotting in a dungeon somewhere.
You'll get a little bit of fear. Shame.
Shame.
Ren?
Shame, you get shame. Yeah. Is this the original ESP or the one now?
The
There's only been one
original.
spell
Does it
cast.
not still? Does it? I saw that it lasted for.
Oh,
4 minutes, a few minutes.
It should have
Yeah.
lasted, I think, for now. Just
Yeah.
about.
Sure.
sorry, I got distracted. What happened right before you did the ESP check?
What happened right before?
He said that he knows Forrest. His friend Forrest was with them.
Oh, you will get sort of an ambivalent feeling of mild guilt.
Forrest was here. It was my understanding that he was in a dungeon somewhere.
Well, no, he got out, remember? They broke him out.
Yeah,
Whatever
that man
these
never
guys
saw a
called.
dungeon, Sakara. He got
didn't?
broken out on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Good for Forrest, I guess.
I look over the three of
had
you.
2 years.
You done my cousin wrong? What happened?
Well, knowing that this guy he has ESP, I make the decision to just kind of tell him a fairly clean version of the story. I'm like, well, look, we had a difficult circumstance, and I'll kind of give a meaningful look at August. Grau is a druid, and I say that to Bartholomew, knowing that he knows what that means. That means like he would be hunted, he would be killed, like with extreme prejudice. And Grau is a druid, and he transformed in a bar. And the only way we could sort of get through that was a lot of bargaining with the Empire to keep him alive. And part of that meant we turned over Forrest.
I see. My eyes scan between the three of you. My hands tighten a bit around the hilt of the arming sword.
But it's
Sigh.
good because Forrest got away, so it all worked out in the end.
Until it didn't. Maybe this was the Verasi Empire showing back up to recapture their prisoner.
That's true. That was an embarrassing event for them. Even Lady... God, I keep
Zara?
forgetting her
Lady Zara.
goddamn name.
Zara.
Every time
Zara.
I go to her, she rolled that 17 hotness, and I can't look her in the eye. Even she said it would be very embarrassing for the authorities that Forrest escaped custody from... Was he in Swampside when he escaped? I don't remember where
he was
he
in
was.
Swampside.
Well, Bartholomew, to give you a bit more background here, our friend Grau, yes, he is a druid, but his story...
I shake my hand for a minute and I say, not Bartholomew, please. You can call me. I imagine. What is the name of the city that we're in again?
Holy City
City
Emberstone.
Emberstone.
Holy City Emberstone. I'll just say you can call me. You can call me Thyrin or Thyrin.
Thyron?
Whatever you want.
You can call me Thyrin.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Thyron. Since we're being honest with each other, my name's Arrakis.
And my name isn't really Renatus, but I'm not going to tell anyone that yet.
It isn't. It isn't.
Yeah, and my name is August, so I was honest.
What do you know about your friend Grau?
Yeah, so
Said that
Grau,
he's a druid.
he is a druid.
Yeah, but he's a bear.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. He was a bear originally and turns into people. Hence why I was saying he's never been in a city before. But he remembers from before he got consciousness, he recognizes Forrest. Seems to have some connection with the Firefly, so perhaps you do know him.
I wouldn't say I know him. I do know of him. He seems to have a strange background. When you lot talk about him being a bear, kind of scan your faces, you are aware that that's not really possible, right? Not aware of any druids that began as animals and become people.
He is a bear. I've seen him turn into a human, a orc, and a gnome. He doesn't turn into animals. He is a bear.
Yep. When
And
he goes
if you
to
ever
sleep
meet
at
him,
night,
he acts like that.
his greatest ambition is a large trough to eat pies out of.
His earliest memory is awakening with a very high, powerful wizard. So, if you're telling me that there is some sort of high, powerful magic behind his condition, I don't suppose I'd be too surprised. What exactly is his situation?
Something
Shrug my
interesting
shoulders.
you should know is that he just seemed to know who Forrest was. That was one of like the first indicators. Is we were walking through Swampside, and he saw Forrest, and he just knew him and his name. I give a shrug.
I nod. Forrest said the same to me. Perhaps Forrest has more information about him. Maybe it would serve us all best if we could find a way to free Forrest, the other two members of my cell, and we can find more answers about your friend afterwards. Yes?
I
Yeah.
agree, but what are we going to do with this guy who just heard everything? I point to the man on the ground.
He's a-
Oh, I punched
Conscious
him
again.
out.
So-
Oh, he's unconscious. Okay, sorry.
He had the tea. And the hits
Still,
on the back
he's
of the head.
seen he's seen the elf. He's heard Ren's voice and Sakara's
This
voice.
guy is too scared to come out of his apartment into an alleyway. He's not going to go telling on secret conclaves of elves. He's just going to go back to his house and keep his mouth shut, I think.
Yeah, I,
What if there's a reward?
I think especially if if there's a reward, I instinctively take out my dagger.
I shake my head in confusion for a moment. You mean, what do we do with the body, right? And then I casually draw my arming sword.
Yeah, that's what we meant. Trying to look cool in front of the elf. That's what we meant.
I really hate killing people.
You really hate
there
killing
a way-
people.
Is there a way we could make him forget? Fuck.
We could simply kill the man, no? I also don't understand when you say you hate killing people. I mean, not to be crude, but you ordinarily live for what, 40, 50, 60 years? Is there even much life being lost here? I can hide the body, don't worry about that. I'll give you the location of where my cell, I guess, was invaded by Barassi warriors. You guys can investigate, and perhaps we can meet back in the tavern in a couple hours.
Yes, that
Oh,
sounds
he
that sounds
doesn't know
good.
anything. Did he see your face? He doesn't know anything. All he
Right.
knows
What do you
is
mean?
that
He
I'm a
saw
ghost wizard.
he saw enough. He saw your friend walking down an alley. I pushed him into here and I asked him questions. We can't let this man back into the streets. He's seen all 3 or 4 of us. After we've interrogated him now, why would you set this man free? Why risk it?
He's right, Ren.
It just worries me about what are you going to do to us later?
Yeah. Now I'm a bit worried. I mean, I'm happy to work with you to get our friends back because it seems like they're in the same danger and in the same place, but this feels weird to go this dark this quickly.
Well, I mean, I
What if
imagine
there's a
you have a
chance?
friend that's a druid. I think that our situations aren't as far apart as maybe you see them. I think we all have our issues with existing in this kingdom, in this area. I think that our goals are common enough, and I don't see any reasons why we'd cross paths in an adversarial manner, no?
I
It's,
mean, are you any better? Are you any better than the kingdom if you're just going to kill this man who knows basically nothing just because there's a shadow of a chance that he might interrupt your plans?
My plans to avenge the ongoing genocide and destruction of my entire people? What is one man's pitiful human lifespan against the existence of the rest of the race of my kind? I don't even understand the calculation you're doing here. I'm sorry, are you suggesting we
sigh.
set the man free to the streets to reveal everything that we've talked about? Does that make more sense?
No, I just don't like killing for no reason.
Well, for no reason, I'm sorry, sir. Perhaps you might not value the life of elves as much as I do, but I think there's plenty good reason to do it.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
Do you think my people did do anything wrong?
That's not the
Please.
same thing.
We are getting lost in the weeds here.
I'm not standing with a blade over your people.
This is Thyron's mess to clean up. You knocked the man out. You know, he's seen your face. If you feel a need to kill him, then it's on his conscience, Ren. We should just take the man's advice and meet him up in the tavern later. Maybe he lets him go. Maybe he kills him. It's not our fight.
All right. I don't like it. And
I nod towards. You said your name was Araxis?
Arrakis. Yeah.
Arrakis. Okay. And then, what was the other two of you guys' names? Ren and
August.
August. Gave me your real name on first introduction to a fat drunk man at a tavern?
I have nothing to hide.
It's a word spoken by a man who's never been adequately enough investigated. But, all right, Arrakis, August, and Ren, I suppose. I'll see the three of you back at the... I'll name a different tavern, perhaps a bit farther from that one. We don't need to revisit the same place. And then I'll give them the location
though,
of the...
if you're going to
Yeah, go
be
ahead.
heading into another tavern without an alter self spell to make yourself look like a human, that's a mighty dangerous prospect. If someone catches the look of your face, that'll be
Yeah, I guess my question would be
dangerous.
is like how obvious, like how much, how obvious is an elf with a cloak like covering the ears? Is this going to be like an obviously like holy shit?
if anyone
or-
makes like proper eye contact with you, if your hood's up and your like head is down, you could probably navigate between places, but that's pretty sketchy to be walking around like that. But if you look at someone in the face and order a drink, they'll know instantly.
Okay. Instead, then we'll meet outside of a tavern. I imagine taverns are good places to beg for change. I imagine I could probably find a dirty cloak. I could sit in front of a tavern holding like a jar out with my head covered because I'm embarrassed or whatever, and just wait
Yeah.
a while.
You could probably do that for a bit.
Okay.
That's a worthwhile disguise for a period of time until some asshole comes along and tries to fuck with you because, Verossi Empire, dark times, bad people. It's not a permanent disguise, but it'll work for a while.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna take our first break right here,
All right.
and we'll come back on the other side with a little bit more Save or Die Outcasts.
Patreon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So our party walks away while the elf dispatches the human. And it sounds like the party's going to go take a look at the scene where the event occurred.
Yep.
The fight in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll be in the front.
sure. You guys can get directions from the elf and head on down towards that alleyway. Back to the alleyway, there is a small courtyard, and in the courtyard there are a couple of soldiers, a couple of Verossi soldiers in banded mail with shields and spears standing like on duty, guarding the area. And as they see you come down, they just start waving you off with the spears, being like, look, if you live here, if your home entrance is in the courtyard, come back tomorrow. If you got a problem with it, you can go to the dungeons and sleep there.
I'll try to engage them in conversation. I'll be like, oh, why? What? Did something happen? Is everything all right?
We arrested some fireflies. Need to secure the area, search for clues.
I'll put my hand to my mouth like, oh God, fireflies in the city. Is my Aunt Jenny
Nothing
okay?
to fear, good
Is
citizen.
my Aunt Jenny?
Nothing
My
to
Aunt Jenny
fear.
lives in that building. Oh my God, is she okay?
I don't know
like-
shit about your Aunt Jenny. I don't give shit about your Aunt Jenny. But the fireflies have been arrested. And if you got problems, dungeons. Straight to jail.
What?
They menace you.
I look at it in
You've been menaced.
confusion at this extreme display of police brutality.
Completely unreasonable. Completely unreasonable by modern standards. But they, they shake their spears in your direction as sort of like a get the fuck out of the courtyard. They seem very distrustful of this innocent human, this beautiful man.
Would there be another way into this courtyard?
Judging around, this is a dead end courtyard from an alleyway that you just walked down.
So the
Well,
only
we can't
other way
just
would be,
murder
like-
these guys.
No, I don't think we can just kill
Well,
them.
they're in banded mail with shields.
I
How many
could
of
try.
them are there?
I could try putting them
And-
to sleep, but
10?
And based on their
Two.
there's two of them. But
two.
if they're guarding something, that means that there's probably other people
Yeah.
doing investigating, right? So you could do something to these two if you wanted.
I don't think
That would only.
I mean, what are we gonna? We cut back around the corner, and I say,
Yeah,
there's probably too much heat to get in there. But what are we gonna find there anyway?
I don't know. Can you do any detection with your magics?
Well, I could detect magic, but
How long ago did what happened happen? Does that make sense? Like,
Probably a few
could
hours
they still
ago.
be down there?
Is what
Okay,
it
so-
seems like.
Where would they have taken them?
To the dungeons?
Does this city have like a competent dungeon? I don't
I would
remember
assume
hearing
so.
You guys
about
This
are
is one
new
of
to this
the-
area.
One of the most old cities in the land.
They'll have a dungeon, all right, but there might even be like a a guardhouse or something where they've been taken to in the short term.
I don't think this is gonna. Sorry.
Before being sent down to the dungeon, I mean, ask them questions in the guardhouse. The captain of the guard doesn't want to go down and sit in the dungeon for 3 hours while he questions them. They're being questioned. It'll be somewhere easier to get to.
Just as a quick thing, I don't know if this would have come up or if Koibu would let us do this or not, but like, I imagine if I'm giving them directions on where to go and investigate the place, as we've been operating out of this as kind of like an undercover group for a while, if there was a secret way in or out, or if there was an easier way to access in or out, because there's obviously going to be guards in the area, I'm sure I would have passed that information along if it's not too late to say that. Or if those entrance or exits even exist. But
Right. Unfortunately, you do not have a secret exit out of this basement.
No.
I think that we're just going to need to go back and get the elf. I'm sure that he has some secret ways around the city, and he'll probably know exactly where his and our friends are.
Yeah, and also there might be important items or intel stored in there that have not yet been removed. And he might appreciate us helping him out by clearing it out and retrieving that information and items. So we should let him know what's happening.
Yeah.
Say, Ren, you're not going to get any funny ideas about this guy, are you? I know that,
What do you mean?
Well, you were looking for a firefly last time I heard.
I kind of.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, and
Absolutely. And you want to do something like that while they've still got a hold of Grow.
absolutely not.
Good
All
luck.
she said was a firefly, so sadly, if one of his friends die, we could maybe bring them anyways.
She needs to be brought a firefly to restore her image as an overseer, because it was under her watch that people escaped. So,
There's also other ways to get your wife if this doesn't work out.
I'm all ears.
Yeah. All right.
It's not like I like working with the Empire.
No, I hate those bastards. They killed my whole family.
Well, our
All right, good.
whole family.
Again, I mentioned it.
All right.
Okay. You can head back towards the tavern that was suggested, and there you'll see, the elf with a cloak that looks very much like the rags that poor man that you saw moments earlier was wearing. And he's hanging out by the door with a little cup in his hand, shaking it.
I'll go up. I'll drop. I don't have any copper. Never mind.
I will drop 2 copper in the cup.
thank you. I'll add that to my character sheet.
The begging in this city is out of control compared to where we're from.
The Rossi Empire needs to do something about these beggars.
Absolutely.
I'll accept your coins. I'll stand up and nod, and I'll kind of walk around, and we'll turn the corner, I guess, to a darker area where we can talk without so many eyes on us. People walking in and out of the tavern.
Yeah. You can find the 4 of yourselves in a dark and sketchy alley outside of a tavern. Nothing
Well-
bad's ever happened in a place like this.
We are the bad things that happen
Yeah.
in sketchy taverns.
True. It's human time. I'll relay the information that we found at the place. I guess he already knew that there would be guards outside it, and
Yeah, we couldn't get close. Guards
Couldn't
are
get close.
crawling over the place.
we were wondering though if you guys were storing anything valuable down there that we might be able to retrieve before they're able to clean the place out. Member lists, stuff like that, things that could compromise your organization. It might be worth looking at.
I shrug my shoulders. I would imagine if we are a highly intelligent elven organization that we keep all of our stuff incredibly segregated, so there wouldn't be a master list that would bring our whole organization down if one strike cell gets compromised, right, Koibu?
Sorry, run that by me again. That was really fast.
Sorry, that there's not going to be like a master sheet of everybody working for us. There shouldn't be like any crazy valuable information in there that we're
No,
worried
no,
about them. Yeah. Okay.
No, all the valuable information is locked in the brains of your captured friends.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I shake my head and I say, no, nothing of value except for the 4 people they've abducted.
Okay.
You guys weren't able to find out where they were taking them, or what happened to them, or did they report any bodies? Did you see any?
They just kept saying that they would take us to the dungeons if we came any further. So I'm gonna guess that's where they took your friends.
How many guards?
Your friend as well, correct?
are in the city,
Yeah,
we could maybe...
and grow.
Yeah, how many guardhouses and dungeons are in the city? Maybe we could see if we can figure out which one they're in.
Excellent. Well, there are a couple of ways to get this information. First off, your newfound friend has some amount of information around the area. You know that there is a main jail in the heart of the city, which is used for people whose justice doesn't need to be exported. You know, someone who's done something and needs to be locked away for a little while or held on to within the city for a period of time. And then there are a couple of, as they mentioned, like drunk tanks or temporary guard houses, temporary jails where you might put someone who, you know, you just need to give them a light punishment, but you don't want to deal with going all the way to the inner city and going into the deep down dungeons. The third type of jail is the place where you would hold important prisoners that need to be exported to the center city of the kingdom, the capital, for questioning. These would be like political prisoners, suspected terrorists,
So that's
anyone
where they're gonna
that
be.
Well, that's where they're going to be.
Yeah,
that's where they're gonna be.
That's where they're going to be.
Right.
This is actually outside of the city. It is
beautiful.
a small fortress that
Oh,
has been
sick.
built with palisade
Nice.
walls, and soldiers. It's actually like its own separate, independent entity. And
It's
since
like
it is
the
holding the
Varasi
sensitive
Empire is,
prisoners,
holding that is like overlording.
it's their Guantanamo.
Yes,
It's
I
the
gotcha.
local Guantanamo.
I have a
and it
question.
would be guarded by the equivalent of the Marines. So breaking into such a place, incredibly high stakes.
Is this elf that we're with the one that's worth 100,000 gold?
Oh
When
shit!
You don't
when I
know?
look at him. I looked at the bounty poster.
Did look at the
before,
bounty.
and now I'm
Now,
looking
I
at
hate to
this
say
guy.
this to you, but to you, because you haven't
They all look the
you haven't
same.
spent a lot of time amongst elves.
okay,
Crazy.
They all kind of look the
Crazy.
same.
Insane.
But
All right, hey, that's it. I got it.
but if they're looking for fireflies, like, yeah, you could probably get maybe not 100,000, but 10, 20, 50, 100.
Okay, so this might not be the
100,000 for this
fucking
guy.
leader of the Fireflies, but it's a full-blooded elf. He's a big guy. Got it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, he's
let's-
worth a lot of money if you turn him in right
Let's
now.
cut the bullshit. We all know where these prisoners are going to be taken, right? They're going to be in the fortress outside of the city.
Yeah, can I think so? If we've been operating out of the city for a while and we've been doing surveillance, I'm sure we've seen people get arrested and captured before. Maybe even other fireflies get arrested or captured before. Would we have
No
an
other
idea of what-
fireflies. You're just the four of you here.
just the four of us? Okay. Or whatever, undesirables. Would we have an idea of what that process looks like? Like, let's say we've seen somebody get captured and taken to the fortress before. Would they get taken to the holding cell for 2 hours and then taken over there? Or would they be escorted immediately? Like, do we know what that process looks like in a way that we could get in between it?
That's
or-
part of your intelligence gathering that you've been doing in this city for the last year or so. And the unfortunate answer is that the Varasi Empire is a lot of, let's see, there's not a lot of guidelines. It's really left up to the people on the ground to do what they want. So whoever has captured these people, they might still be down there interrogating them. They might be taking a while to take them, or they might have hauled them immediately out to the fortress. It's unlikely that there would be a way station between, because you could just march them out the city gates and just be done with it. And then every so often you will, when there are enough people, they will create like a little jail train and then haul people overland from the fortress to from this little holding place to the capital.
How far is the travel between Holy City Emberstone and the fortress?
Once you leave the gates, it's probably 10 minutes.
Oh,
Like if you were standing on the walls, you would be able to see the fortress. It's right next to the city.
A thought has occurred to me. So, like, to do this kind of like interdimensional door teleportation spell, that would be a pretty high level wizard, right?
It's like a 7th level spell, right?
That would, yeah,
fifth.
that's
Fifth
like
or seventh.
dimensional gate or something like that. It's
and you're not going to
teleportation's
like,
a 5th level spell, so this would have to be probably around 5th level.
and you're not going to send your cadets, your rookies through a portal like that. This was like the strike team, like elite soldiers wearing high tier gear,
We know who it was.
like grizzled
In an
veterans.
ideal
flashbanged them.
world, that's what you would do. However, the war is being fought over there, and all the elite units are being used at the front. This area is what we would consider pacified. there's going to be a couple of like high-level casters, the equivalent of Magistrate Zara would be working out of this city. And so maybe you would have like a super high-level caster who could cast that spell, but then you get to use whatever resources you have to do the dirty work of actually capturing them. And that might be 3rd or 4th level characters. There might be like a captain who's higher level, but day to day in the city, there's just not that level of units to be able to pull.
Okay, fair. I think the point I was trying to get at there is like, if they're transporting these prisoners, they're going to be doing it under guard, and these aren't going to be like, oh, these are like city guards. These are going to be like, oh shit, the Verasi guards have like 4 dudes in tow. People are going to see. It's going to be news around town, right?
We could go to the gate that they would have left from, because we know where the fortress is, which gate they'd leave from. We could ask like homeless people near that gate and see if they've seen like the guards escorting people out of the city yet.
This is like such a high level thing. This news of this should be like running around the town. Like everyone should be talking about it. Like oh my god, they took them to the such and such. Like they took them to this prison.
Let's wander towards the gates and see who we can find along the way.
You could ask around, not to tell you how to play the game, but this is
I ask around.
There's the one alleyway that leads out of this area. So if they haven't teleported people out, then they must have walked them out that alleyway. So there might be people in this neighborhood right now who have seen them be walked out, or maybe they're still downstairs in the basement, or maybe they did a double teleport.
I look around for some local people who look like they're from the area. I will just kind of go up to them and I'll casually chat to them. This is how I'm going to open it. It's going to be like, oh my god, did you hear about the arrest? Did you see that earlier? Like the people getting marched on the street by soldiers?
Can I also, real quick, before that question is answered, wait, but we were up to a little bit of deviousness as our group before everything got messed up. Was any of that set up yet? Like any of that plan already kind of rolling in terms of like preparing any of those 4 areas? Or
you had identified the appropriate locations and you were beginning to stash combustibles, but you were nowhere near ready for operation.
Okay, but there are combustibles in those 4 locations.
Yeah,
what do you mean combustibles?
Scrap wood,
Like,
scrap wood, tinder. Not explosives.
Just making
but
sure
just
it doesn't
things
have
that
like
would
bombs.
burn.
Yeah.
No bombs. We don't have bombs in this time and age. You can find a couple of grandparents, Ren, and elderly people. They don't sleep very much. Sometimes they go to bed at 5 and they wake up at 2 a.m. and then they're awake for the rest of the day. Sometimes hours are different. So you'll find a quartet of elderly people hanging out downstairs, sipping wine at whatever hour it is right now, 2, 3 a.m., something like that. Just in the streets with a little lantern between the 4 of them, talking, playing canasta.
Yeah, I greet them and I say, "Hail, did you guys see what happened earlier this morning? There was a operation of some kind. High-level Verasi soldiers were running around the area. I've heard. Did you guys see or hear anything?
Not in the morning, son. I was this night. Do you know what the sun looks like? Morning is when the sun is rising."
Well, I didn't hear what happened, but it was crazy. Did you see anything or hear anything?
Oh yeah. About 15 or so folks came on down there dressed all in blacks. Couple of spellcasters with them, and a bunch of prisoners. 4 prisoners. Oh, little one, 3 tall ones. Bags over their heads, shackles on their hands, and then bandages wrapped over their fingers like you might do to a wizard or a cleric.
Oh, wow. Man, they must have been taking them somewhere important. God, I wonder what they did.
Well, let me tell you. Back when I was a young man, I got into some trouble with the law, and they didn't use such aggressive tactics back in my day.
Yeah, back in those days, you could settle a thing with a punch, right? I remember. I'm an older man, by the way.
Exactly. You could settle a thing with a punch, and that would be the end of it.
And then you'd buy the guy a beer afterwards. But now it's all like, oh, I pull my knife, and then 3 goblins come into the bar, and all of a sudden somebody gets turned into a meat burger.
And the ball gags, and it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. When they introduced whips, that's when I knew this kingdom was going downhill.
Oh. Don't say that too loudly. You're still young enough that you've got life to lose. What are they gonna do to me? I'm 85 years old. I'll probably die on the way to the jails.
Jesus,
Too old
says
to be
85.
silenced.
Anyway,
Yeah,
enjoy your game, and I'll give him like a little ear pull to let him know
Hold on,
that.
I was still telling you about the olden days, though, because wherever you're from, I can hear your accent. It's not quite the same as from here. The elderly people want to engage you in long conversation.
I tell them the story. You know what? I want to get out of this car. I tell them the most fucking tragic tales of my life. I become a black hole of joy, okay? I siphon every fucking smile out of the room with every sad sob story of my life. Oh man, when I was 6 years old, my cat Mittens died. A horse stepped on her. And then when I was going down to the park with my sister Jenny, oh my god, she slipped and broke her leg, and that cancelled her betrothal. She couldn't get married anymore. And then my son died in a horse
To
riding
the other
accident.
characters
I
at
just
the
fucking
table right now.
siphon the joy out of the room. And I'm refusing to leave. I'm like,
Old man Renatus has joined with the other elderly people, and you have things to do, and the conversation is dragging.
Yeah, we hear what the woman said, right? Like, we've heard her answer him. Okay, well, sorry, I
we're all
don't mean to
standing right
interrupt
there.
you, but I think I just say, like, come on, Ren, and then start walking away towards the gate.
I say, youth, it's wasted on them, isn't it? And then I get up and walk away.
Yeah, I'll follow along and I'll ask there. And are you good in a fight? Are you going to be able to be dependable?
Rin, right?
Thyrin, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. I can handle myself. Don't worry about me.
Okay. And I will
Okay.
follow on.
I think
Out of the
as we
side.
get closer to the gate, Neil, I would like to stop at, like, speak to a homeless person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say,
What's
Although
it like
there's
not
not
having
a
a house,
ton
a
of-
loser? I'm sorry.
Beggars at this hour.
yeah, so we're close to the gate now, right? But you could see the gate from
Yeah.
here. Yeah. I
Yeah.
say, I like
This is the northern gate, by the way.
crouch down and hand a silver coin to this person. Say, hey, did you see special guards all dressed in black escorting prisoners out of the city in the last hour or two?
There's a nod.
They leave the gate?
There's a furious nod.
All right, I thank you. I stand back up. All right, they already
Shake the
left.
cup one more time.
Is this place on the way to
I give him another silver.
a Virgio, Neil?
Yes, this is the
North,
northern
okay.
gate that would head out. That's just a podunk village. Don't
Just
even
make
worry
sure,
about
just
it. But
make
yeah.
So they're already there then, probably. If they already left, it's only 10 minutes. They'll be there already. We should get out of the city and make camp somewhere away from the place and come up with a plan.
Well, we've got a crew we need to bring with us back in the tavern, and we've got resources here, and we also have no idea what we're going into, so we need to prepare, and we have no time to do it. So we've got to start making some decisions really quick.
Yeah, I mean, we have a small group. What are we going to do? We're going to attack the fucking fortress, though?
No, I
Surely
think
not.
the best move is either I try to sneak in, depending on the level of the defenses. I am a thief after all, or we wait until they're trying to transport them from this place to another. But I think waiting means that they're getting tortured and information is being revealed.
I agree.
Well, we also
wait.
need to send the clerics today, so...
Would the interrogation stuff happen immediately, or would you assume they need to bring people in for that?
Well, that's why they're headed to the capital, is to be interrogated there.
Yeah, but I mean that wouldn't happen in the fortress outside of here. That would be after they got shipped
No,
off.
no,
to
no.
the-
Yeah, you want to take them to the good interrogators. You don't want to not let them. You centralize that.
So
You got specialists.
in that case, then, do we make camp on the road that they'll travel through and attack them on the road?
Yeah,
Yes.
what's the most likely way to the capital, right?
The North Road. There's but one road, and
I'm
it
gonna
heads that way.
Guys, I'm going to
What if they've
send...
already left?
I'm going to send Stacy and the others to transport the clerics.
Good
Is that
idea.
okay?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. And then I think we
do
should
have guards. Yeah.
we should travel along the road and find a good spot for an ambush
Okay.
and wait for them.
I'll run back inside the town. I will let Stacy know. You're in charge, Stacy. You're going to be taking... I point to the two guys, and then I point to the other three people that we have. You all are going to go with the clerics in the morning, and you're going to go to Autumn's place. You know where that is, right, Stacy?
Mm-hmm.
Where we met the Birdman.
Yep.
Okay. Take them there. And then bring them
Done.
back. They've all been paid. Good luck.
I
All right. They
give
will
an
take care of that.
apology
They'll
note.
leave tomorrow.
I give an apology note to the cleric of
Reluna?
Cheese, because
Oh, fuck.
this is happening and I can't look after his temple while he's gone for a day or two.
Do you tell the
So
cleric
you're
of
gonna,
cheese that?
like,
Well,
front
I gave
about
him. I gave him my word that I would do it.
yeah,
You know what? I
Yeah.
don't tell him. He believes it. That's enough.
That's enough.
Good enough.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't suppose I can pick up my robe that I had commissioned before we leave.
This is near the last day. Yeah, your robe's done. I think you're probably already wearing it, actually.
Perfect. Okay, let's go then.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Our party sets out. Now
I get on
well,
Schnickel Fritz the second.
Yes. I had heard a couple of plans. It was either investigate the fortress, see if Ren could sneak into it, or head down the road to look for an ambush spot.
I think.
Well, one of us should ride ahead to Avergio and check if they've already sent the prisoners off to the capital. Because if we're sitting outside this fortress and they've already sent them off, we're standing here with our collective prick in our hands.
So wait,
I'll
so we
ride
need
ahead.
one person on a horse, yeah, to get ahead of them and see if they've already left, and if they haven't, then we can set the
Well,
ambush.
it's nighttime. No one's moving prisoners, starting a prisoner movement that's going to take 6 weeks in the middle of the night. Guaranteed.
Listen,
It would
you
be
said this
insane.
is the Ferasi Empire. It's all.
Wait, you said this
true.
prisoner movement's going to take 6 weeks?
So it's something like that to get to the capital.
Oh,
It'll
to
take
get
a
there.
long
Okay,
time.
Okay.
Yeah. The capital ain't nearby.
No,
It's
I thought
pretty
you were saying
far.
6 weeks for them to start going.
Oh, no. If they wanted to leave immediately, they would leave in the morning.
Okay.
And then it would take, a month or
So
more to get there.
it's my view that sneaking in is probably a
The
bad
worst
idea.
plan.
A
Yeah.
bad idea, yeah. And I think we should try and
But-
set an ambush. If we can pick the terrain, if we can set some traps, we can probably win what's going to be a pretty fight stacked against us.
Do you know to set traps, Tharon?
Thyren.
Thyren?
Glare at him. And I shake my head no.
What are you going to be able to do in this ambush? Are you just good with
we
your
could,
sword? That like I am?
I mean, I can fight, I can shoot arrows, and I have a very small bag of some magical tricks that might help, but really only. I mean, fortunately, since the attack, I no longer have my spell book, so
They took
guess
your
I can make-
spellbook?
well, what I think I lost it, right? Didn't I just run away?
He just wasn't. It wasn't in his hand. He was
Yeah.
hanging out with his people, but not with all his gear on him. In fact, you have your arming sword, but you don't even have your bow or your quiver or your arrows. You're a great marksman with the bow.
You're good with
You
a bow.
need to
I can
get
give you
one.
mine.
It's a good idea.
So
I don't know if I'm amazing with a bow. Am I amazing with a bow?
You are, yes.
okay,
You're,
I will
you're an
hand.
elven archer.
Okay.
If you want to be.
I will hand
Oh,
you my
shoot.
bow and my arrows.
Oh, I see. Okay.
1 second.
You've got
It's going to
plus
be
6 to hit
17
with a bow.
arrows. Jesus, plus 6. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
17 arrows. And I think Koibu can do that for you.
Yep.
This
well, I
is
can
the
care of it.
range, Koibu. Yeah.
So we have. So what time of day is it right now?
Nighttime.
It's 3 a.m.
Okay. So we. Roughly what time is dawn? What time of year is it?
Dawn's around 6 or 7.
All right, so we've got 3 to 4 hours to prepare traps ahead of the road, assuming they're going to go north and they're going to leave at dawn. This is the Ferasi Empire. Maybe they'll sleep in, but we want to have our empire ready for dawn.
Yeah.
In
So
my
we-
opinion, go ahead.
It'd be good to find a valley or something like that. Or maybe we could put a boulder in the road so that horses stop and we can attack them, ambush them from the valley.
I was also
graze on
thinking
either
literal
side.
pit traps. An hour is enough to dig a trap that someone will step into and
Yeah.
hurt their foot. You know what I
We
mean?
can do that too.
Um,
I think finding favorable terrain would be the best thing. Anywhere where there's raised walls on either side of the road. I think that's going to be great because
Well-
then we can shoot them from above and
I think a tree would
You-
help an archer.
The real question is how far ahead do you want to make this ambush? Because as I mentioned, it's a month and a half long journey.
You probably
In the
wanted a few
beginning,
days
right
ahead so they can
around-
just run back.
Yeah, right around Holy City Emberstone is some grasslands. Then maybe 3 days out, you get to an area where the road curves around the edge of a forest and some hills. And so there's some forested and hilly terrain. Then there's some more grassland, more forest, more grassland. And then you get deep into the forest where this is maybe 3 weeks down the road, the road goes like well into the woods, into deep woods.
Well, personally, I think the 3-day area sounds good, where there's the hills and the trees. I think 3 weeks is that's a long time.
It's a long time,
it is a
but
long
they
time.
will just be traveling, and
Yeah.
the forested area would give us the most advantages, in particular with our elven friend,
Yeah.
and if we can get Grau the ability to transform to a bear in the forest. This is natural terrain. I'm happy with the 3-day or 3-week option.
Why don't we make our way to the forest a few days away and determine whether we think this is a good spot? If it is, then we can do it there, and if not, we can keep traveling ahead. I think the important thing is that we stay ahead of them, though.
Yeah.
I raised my hand for a second.
Yeah.
They know they've captured members of the Fireflies. I imagine they would expect us to try to intervene to prevent them from being transferred to the capital. Is an ambush in a forested area with bows not literally the most expected thing in the world? Do we expect to be able to free the prisoners with this sort of ambush?
It's probably when they're going to be their most guarded. I agree.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the earlier the
What do
better.
you think,
perhaps.
Elf? Where do you think we should do it then? 3 days?
Shake my head. I'm
In the
not sure.
hills.
Generally, capture is almost as good as death in these parts. We tend to operate in the night and in the shadows. We don't usually look to fight guards head on. I don't really have any tricks or traps for this, so
Well,
maybe
speaking of shadows, I do have this, and I'll pick up the blade that allows me to hide in shadows. This could help us with the ambush.
Why
Maybe
not?
we should do
Rather than
the ambush
attacking
at
them on
night
the
when
road,
they.
we
Yeah.
could attack them at night in their camp.
You could. We know at this point that you can kind of transform into people, correct?
me?
Yeah.
I
have
can
a
cast
spell, though.
Alter Image. Or alter
Maybe you can
self,
get a.
sorry.
I don't know how the magic works too well, but I think Arrakis has something similar. Maybe you two could look like guards and infiltrate the camp that way.
When we say camp, we're talking about once they've shipped them from the fortress on their way to the capital, the camp that the people have set
that
up
they're
to
going
do
to
that,
set
right?
for the nights. Yeah. It'll be like the prison camp. yeah.
Thing is, I can make myself look like someone else, but not someone specific. If they're a relatively small group, they're going to recognize, they'll be expecting spellcasters if they're expecting something, so I'd be cautious of that.
Also, this is a very civilized area. You don't know if they're going to camp outside of towns. They might pull into cities. There's very little reason to
There's got to be places where they can't,
stop a
right?
That's true. There might be a section where the stretch between two towns is larger than a day, or where the stretch between two towns there's only like small podunk villages. But it's unlikely that they're going to just be by themselves in the middle of the wilds. Not impossible, but unlikely.
I guess that a lot of this comes down to the actual terrain and the journey itself. Like, we don't know, so I think that we need to.
So let's investigate it.
Let's get ahead of them. Let's get ahead of them on the
Yeah.
road, and let's check in 2 or 3 days in at that place with the hills on the edge of the forest and see if we think that that's an appropriate spot.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Look,
how
I'm-
much? I'm sorry. I have no in my metagame. I have no in my head idea of where we're all at for levels and everything.
Yeah. We're
How
all-
much? What type of guards or what type of envoy would we expect these people to be traveling with?
This is a great question. This is a fantastic little bit of information that you would love to have. This would probably require asking some locals. You'd ask around town to see what sort of transportation, what sort of equipment they might carry.
Okay. And then also in terms of you guys doing stuff and traveling, I get the sense. Can I tell? Or I guess I could just ask you guys. I'm like a moderately skilled warrior. I'm quite a skilled warrior as of the level 4 variety. Is that about where everybody's at?
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
level
yeah,
4.
yeah.
So I'm guessing
level
you
5.
guys.
Okay.
Oh wow, why don't you go? I'm
That's
guessing you
weird.
guys haven't had areas where you just we're just gonna fight and kill everybody because we're that strong or do anything
No,
like
we're
that,
not.
right?
We're
No.
not. We're not in that kind of world.
We don't even have armor, good armor yet.
Okay.
Best thing we have is a +2 magic weapon.
hmm
Yeah, we've got one magic item, and I've got some good spells for sleep is always a good spell. I think if we can get the jump on people, then we can find ourselves a favorable situation. But we're not just going to steamroll them.
I think.
How do people
ambush-
usually prove their identities when they go from city to city? Like if you're a city guard and you go to the next city, how do you prove that you are who you say you are? especially if you're like a Verasi person and you're just going into like cities that are part of like a
Oh, well, if you're
subsidiary
an
of a
official,
kingdom.
you will have some sort of symbol of your officialness, usually. And you will
if it's just a
probably be
symbol,
able
wouldn't that lead
to,
to a lot
through
of
conversation,
impersonation?
prove it. That is a dangerous thing, but the penalty for impersonation is death. So the only people who would bother impersonating are people who are willing to risk dying. So it becomes non-casual. Like, would you dress up as a cop? You could impersonate a cop. You could get yourself a fake badge and a cop's uniform from a costume shop. But like to do that bears heavy, heavy consequences. So you could.
We got
in
a
the
lot of
modern
disguising
world.
things. Okay, here's a follow me on this one. Okay, crazy,
Mhm.
wacky little meme. Okay, maybe I don't
Mhm.
know if this could work or not, so I'm not attached to this idea. But what if? Okay,
Mhm.
what if we find a way to stall their travel to the next city? Right. So either a rock in the road or something like that. We see that they're moving from location A to location B. All right. What if we now? I don't know what if you guys have connections. I don't know if the Fireflies would have connections to other people if we just work in smaller groups. So maybe we wouldn't. But if you could hire like 5 or 6 or 7 people in a cart to take off from the spot that those people get trapped in and go to the next city and pretend that they're the Verasi guards. You could even use you could use me as like proof of that. Like, look, here's an elf, and then show like just the thing, and then keep moving through. And then when they show up second because they get over the obstruction, then those people think that they're the imposters, and then we get them to fight each other.
That's an interesting idea. You would need uniforms, which you could get by killing Rossi soldiers and taking them. And then you might need
Hire a cart or something to carry goods or services.
you
Really,
could
just
steal
hire
a
a
cart,
trader,
buy
maybe.
a cart, something like that. The question I have is, this is not a situation where there's going to be like stopwatches and this one cart has showed up. There's not such a deep infrastructure. This is going to be more of like a series of carts and some guards who just go from town to town. They're not necessarily being expected. They leave whenever
Oh no,
they're
sure,
ready.
I understand that
not
for
on
sure.
a timetable.
I'm just saying that having a second one show up would definitely set off a lot of alarm bells.
Yeah,
If a second
especially
group
if
of
the
people
first
saying that
one
they're-
didn't
yeah.
say there was somebody coming behind us tomorrow. It
Mhm.
would be weird. It would set off alarm bells, and it would have them be like, hey, didn't we just see a cart full of these people come through? And it would create a
Yeah.
conversation.
And I'm sure we would say something along the lines of like, be careful, there are fireflies, they're very tricky. Don't just be alert as we come through here or whatever. So they would be on alert if something weird or whatever was happening. And then you see a second cart come
Yeah.
through with the same people, maybe?
It would definitely raise some alarm bells. I don't know if it would lead to them being fought or killed, because they would probably be able to prove it in some way, shape, or form.
I think an issue with this would be, I see two problems, right? One is when the confrontation happens, it's out of our hands at that point, whether it works or not. And two, even if it works and they kill them, they still think that Grau and your friends are prisoners. So therefore they arrest
Well, we
them.
would intervene in the ensuing chaos, right?
Like when they're
if
fighting,
the
we
two
would
sides
come
began
in.
to fight, yeah, we would come in for sure. You said your friend Grau can fight or transform
Yeah,
into
he can
something. and I'm
he can
sure the
fight,
other
yeah.
three-
We can fight.
What if we combine this two plans sort of and make an obstruction that forces them to camp overnight, and then we attack them at night?
If you think that
You
can work, we can
wouldn't-
go for it. I don't know the general. Oh, I guess Koibu said we should talk. My only worry is that like if they travel with like multiple like level 6 guards or something, that any sort of
Right.
straight up fight, we just don't have the resources or the abilities to overcome that. If you think we can, then obviously that's like the simpler plan with less things that could go wrong. We should just opt for that for sure.
If you want them to stop, you're going to need to find an area where they couldn't just go around. Like a rock in the road, you can just move the carts off the road. It'll be a bitch. It'll slow them down, but they could do it. You're going to need to find like a river with a bridge,
It
or
does
a
depend, though,
chasm,
because if
or a mountain pass.
say it adds 5 hours to their journey to go around it, and they approach it when the sun is setting, they might not have any choice but to. They can't go around it because it's too late in the day, you know.
Yeah, if you could create a 5-hour slowdown. I don't know how you would create a 5-hour slowdown.
Well, they've got a
But
car.
if you did-
if it's like they have
Yeah,
to
but
go
like,
over hills and stuff.
You know, if we
like that.
talk about a tree blocking the road, we're talking about someone moving 50 feet off the road and back. You know, that's not a 5-hour slowdown.
Yeah, but in the where the hills are in the valleys, and a valley maybe.
Yeah, well, why don't we have our party take off and head towards the hills and trees?
Yeah, before we
Now,
do that,
like I
should
said-
we ask around and figure out like what do guards
Yeah,
have we
if we
traveled
can.
with? I guess
If we can,
yeah.
yeah. Well, we can
Yes,
ask these same homeless
absolutely.
people, which we're still stood next to. I guess we can ask them
Yeah.
how they were equipped.
So
Ask
they
a
will
different homeless
say
person.
that the people who were in the transportation from site to the fortress jail outside of town, it looked like there were about a dozen soldiers and banded mail and shields, and it looked like there were 3 spellcasters.
I suppose Ren
3.
and Thyrin can, like, once we're ahead of them and they're behind us, we'll be able to see how many men they've got, right? We'll be able to watch them from afar.
It'll be kind of suspicious though if we're just like hanging around ahead of them.
Can't you just fly over them as an Arakara one day?
I feel like a man flying around might be more suspicious. I think Ren on top of a hill, looking down. They're not going to see him. Like, they're a big carriage with horses and guards. You're just one guy.
Another option is to have. I think there's a simpler. So the goal is to gauge how much power they have, right?
Yeah.
I think a simpler option is we make it on foot, sort of forced march to the place where we plan to ambush them. We potentially leave August behind with his horse, and he just rides on past them tomorrow morning whenever they leave to us. He's able to just get okay, there's a dozen, he and then he'll meet up with us.
Yeah.
And yeah,
we can do that. Okay.
that's a simple way to do recon.
Okay.
It's also not suspicious that some guy would ride past you on a horse.
Unless
dude.
Grouse screams.
He's wearing a
But he's
hood.
probably going to be a bear anyways.
Yeah. I
Oh
don't know.
shit! Have they discovered? They must have
They
discovered.
will do. Yeah. They will.
Yeah,
do.
they
When he
will.
goes to sleep,
Um,
he'll turn into a bear.
I don't think
No,
that
I
makes the
think that makes
situation that
sense.
much worse though, because they're already taking half elves with
Yeah.
them, so they
yeah.
already
They
hate.
definitely
Yeah,
know
that's true.
anyway.
That's true.
Okay, so let's get ahead of them by, let's get half a day's ride ahead of them, and then we can do this thing and let August hang back to ride past them to get a look at them,
Yeah.
to
Okay.
gauge them. Okay.
So in the morning, because it's 3 a.m. right now, you're not just going to wander down this road in the middle of the night. That'd be a crazy thing to do. In the morning, you guys can leave, and then
Sharpish though, because we need to get ahead of them. Yeah.
right, definitely sharpish. And then August can follow. You can leave in the evening or in the midday or something like that, or even just hang outside the city, as if he's waiting for something, and then take off whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's going to put the party some number of days ahead of them. And as I mentioned before, right, there's a lot of towns in close connection. When you traveled here, you were staying in villages and towns along the way. There were a couple of places where you intentionally opted to stay in the wilds, but otherwise it's been town after town after town. And as you travel, you'll see that there's going to be villages and towns and cities along the way fairly often. On your journey out, are you staying in villages, towns, and cities, or are you going to try and avoid civilized areas and camp in between them?
I don't see any reason we should avoid them. And actually, that gets me thinking. Actually, maybe we could bust them out whilst they're in a town. Like if they're staying in a village overnight, they're going to be in a tavern, aren't they? Like maybe we could even kill one of the guards.
Or
He
slip
turns
in
up.
the
He
window.
turns up dead in the morning, and now they're one guard down on their journey, but they're a week into it. So what are they going to do?
Well,
They would probably
assuming they've got a
look
way
for
to
help.
communicate long term,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be the worst. I think if we make a move, it has to be swift
All or
and brutal.
nothing.
It can't
Okay.
be over time because they'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're literally in the seat of their power, so they have the ability to call reinforcements, hunker down, and wait. We can't wait. We got to strike decisively, take them out. Yeah.
Well, yeah, attacking in a town might not be the worst thing. We could be in the same tavern as them, maybe.
I mean, a town is good because a town it adds a lot of confusions, a lot of places
Yeah.
you can disappear,
And
but
then
it
it
also
splits up.
adds that exact same thing for us, right? Because a town, they'll be wearing Verasi Empire clothing, and they'll just see us attacking. So depending on the loyalty of the town. Now, if we could for sure guarantee that this was an anti-Verasi town, they might turn towards
Or even-
our side.
Or town might be good also because we could technically prepare. Now, I don't know if there's a way for us to figure this out, but if we could know, for instance, exactly where they're going, then that becomes an easy matter, right? Like if we know that they would go to a certain tavern or know they take them to a certain holding cell, we could prepare ahead of time, a day or two ahead of time, either set up traps, set up a secret way in or out, fake walls, whatever. Like that would make it. Is there any way for us to know that?
This is like a well-traveled like prisoner transport lane, so they would have like,
one
usual
road.
spots.
Yeah.
There's one road that goes to the capital. Technically, all roads lead to Rome, right? So there's the obvious route, and then there's awkward routes that would add time to their journey. So assuming they're going to go the most efficient route, the road that they will take. And if it's a series of ox-pulled carts, they're going to be moving at a slower pace than a normal person would be marching, like you guys would be. So they'll probably be moving rate 8 instead of 12, something like that. So you can get ahead of them. Every 4 days that you travel, you pull 1 day ahead of them. Will be your jam. So if you want to get ahead, so you have like a few days to prep, awesome. You won't know exactly which towns or cities they're going to be staying in until you've like sort of scouted out the terrain. And if there's only one town here, then that's going to be the one they're going to stay in. But if there's like 6 villages in a row, they'll probably stay in
one of them.
Maybe they have a designated one, or maybe it's just depending on how the day's travel goes, right? That's all going to be pretty hit or miss.
If we travel the road, we might be able to work out like where there's a gap and there's only one place to stay. So they're probably going to definitely stay there.
Well, let's just take it a couple days at a time here, then.
That's the first thing first with August, yeah.
The first thing first. The rest of you will head out in the morning. You'll get to the next town down the road called Antrag, and August will wait behind until he sees a cart full of prisoners being loaded up at this little fortress outside of the city.
Do I see
You'll
a
ride
bear?
past them. I'll tell you everything.
Oh, thank you.
You'll ride past them and meet up. And you can see that this little cart full of people has... it is 3 wagons pulled by oxen. They have metal bars all the way around them and like a little metal door in the back. So it's like, you can't break out of this. There's no way that Grau could break out. Yes, indeed, there is a bear in one of these carts. Inside that same cart are also 3 elves, or 2 elves and a half elf. They all have bags over their heads and irons on their wrists. The bear has a bag over his head and chains on his wrists. I guess bears technically have wrists. Larger chains attached to, or manacles attached to the bear's limbs, so the bear can't really do shit either. The other 3 wagons are filled with miscellaneous folks, mostly humans, a couple of dwarves, a few gnomes, a smattering of halflings, a few goblins.
I have a question.
And a hobgoblin.
There's no way that they just have bear chains ready, right? So are they tight on him? Are they loose?
Well,
as I drive
imagine his
by and
wrists
look.
are like ogre-sized, right? So like they probably are like certain sizes, and you just tighten them to fit, right?
You're probably not going to be able to get a very good look at how tight they are because like you're just riding past. You're going to get maybe 3 seconds of looking at Grau's limbs as you go by. And he's a bear, so he's got all this fur fluffing around him. You ever seen like a wet cat and you see how much they shrink down? It's going to be real hard to tell what Grau's capacity is. But judging by the iron bands on the cart, like even if his hands were free, he would just be stuck in the cage.
Okay.
Technically, he would get a Ben Bar's chance, but he's going to be at like, 2% to Ben Bar's out of here. The wagons have... each wagon has a driver. Give me a charisma check when you ride past them.
There you go.
Excellent roll. The middle cart has probably the leader of this expedition. It's a wagon driver like the others, but the way that they wear their black clothes indicates to you some sort of wizard. It's not exactly robes, but it like technically qualifies as black wizard robes. And they've got the V on them, and they had a couple of pouches by their side, and they had a cage of chickens like right next to the driver's seat with like a little hatch that would pop open and a knife on the side. This would be for that blood magic type casting with the black robed wizard there. So they could upcast their spells by 1 level.
Okay.
There are 6 goblin archers with them, and there are 4 armed soldiers and banded mail with shields, AC 18, and spears.
Okay.
AC 18.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah.
I keep riding. They don't stop me or anything?
Nope. You're just riding past them. The road is busy. Like this road is going to be all the way to the capital. There will be people heading in both directions every single day that you will pass or meet along the way. So if you do some sort of road blocking or bridge destroying, it's not going to just be these people on the way. Someone will probably come into that trap, that downed thing, and then turn around and head back or something like that. Like you're going to get advance notice unless the collapse or road blockage happens just as these people are getting there. Otherwise, someone else on the road will know for certain.
Okay.
Let's just go through the first of available locations. The first one is a village that you could pass. Probably a village that they're not going to stop in, but a village that they are going to go through. Villages here, not a lot. They don't have much in the way of town guard. They don't have much in the way of resupply. There wouldn't be any backup, but there are buildings and rooftops and a road that goes down the middle. The enemy would be unlikely to get reinforcements here. I don't know if a village provides the right amount of cover that you would want, though.
It's not the worst thing in the world, actually.
Okay. Next up would be a town. Town does not have walls. It does have some level of town guard and maybe some level of Rossi soldiers stationed in it. Usually most towns don't have Rossi soldiers stationed in them all the time, but any given town might have people temporarily there just to check up on things or passing through. A town will have better roads and a lot more people, a lot more hiding locations.
Are any of these towns closer to some people in Thyrene's network, maybe?
No.
No. Okay.
The Fireflies are a widely distributed group of people.
Got it.
And there's no elven backup anywhere nearby.
Perfect.
After that, it's just a couple more towns and villages, and then you come to the first unusual thing of interest. This is an outpost in the forest. This is one of these spots where there's maybe the distance between two towns is a little bit too long. And so what you have here is a straight up temporary outpost, not temporary, messenger outpost. I'm bringing you to a new map right here. These are the sorts of things that many empires along the world have built, where you've got a little fort and it's got supplies and it's got fresh horses and messengers can come through. And if you've got an urgent message that needs to get somewhere, you ride your horse really hard. You come to one of these messenger outposts, you leave your horse here, grab a new one and take off. It also serves as a little way station and supply chain. If this caravan were to stop at this outpost, they certainly would pass by it. You can see that the road is right here on the right side. And the outpost is right here. It's a close distance. What is this? 120 feet. This might be a place that they would stop at, or they might just go past this. You're not entirely certain.
So, there's an obvious plan here, which is we kill these guys and then we pose as them. And maybe they stop here, or maybe we even, send out and say, sir, we've got a message for you. And then we spring our attack or whatever.
That's a good idea.
Is it reasonable to assume that we could clear out an entire Varasi? This would be a Varasi outpost, or?
Looks like
it would be an outpost. It's used for, resupply and fresh horses, essentially. So it does have walls that might be hard to get over. There's a gate that's not shown here that can close all the way. But it's not going to be heavily manned because there's nothing of value other than food and fresh horses.
The resource, I have a question. Yeah. If we are going to do this, I think our best bet would be someone's job entirely being opening up that cage and letting the prisoners out to fight, especially unleashing quote unquote maybe the bear.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing that Ren can do. I think I try and get a scare off on the goblin archers if they're all going to be in a group.
Lockpicking takes D10 rounds, and he would be, huge advantages attacking him if he's trying to pick a lock in the middle of battle.
What if he just did it in the middle of the night? Let's say we, in theory, posed as guards here, right?
Ooh.
And then Ren could sneak up and lockpick, and then they're out, and then we spring our trap.
Wait, pose as guards where? I can't see. Are you highlighting on the map somewhere?
No. It was just They were just talking.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, our assumption right now is that the caravan of prisoners is going to come here and potentially stop here to rest for the night. So, if we're able to kill these guards, pose as the guards, some of us might be assigned to guard duty of the cages. We can let them out, and then we just take out the rest of the guards.
They would probably keep their own person on guard duty for the cages. Like, that's their job. They're not going to hand over watching of the fireflies to like random outpost number 27.
Yeah.
But
That's only
you might
one
be
guy
able
you
to
gotta
get the
murder.
drop on them.
Yeah. And I think August could pose as the guard quite easily. I mean, if we kill this guard, you can take his armor and shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pose
That
as
would be
him.
sweet.
I can keep myself hidden so they don't know I'm a wizard.
I can literally hold onto that dagger and hide in the shadows. Although we do need a certain number of people for legitimacy, I think, because they're going to know that.
There should be
I
like
mean-
4 or 5 guys here.
But I suppose for the tower ones, like, depending on how the towers look, we could very easily set up mannequins that kind of look like guards. You know what I mean?
Especially at night, yeah.
Yeah. They're going to come in at night, too.
That does mean, though, that you're going to have to pull off a very convincing "we belong here, we are Verasi guards," and that this is, you're going to have to convince them to lower their guard, which is not impossible.
Yeah.
D&D characters do it all the time, but I want to set up what the challenge in this situation will be so you know how to play it.
We could definitely... I don't know if this could be an option. Like, we go here, we kill 3 of them, and then we have the other 2, still maintain their posts, but if they say anything, they
It's hard
die.
to- hard
That's
to
going to be
trust them.
harder to trust them, yeah.
That's
The first chance they get, they'll run to them and be like, help!
Yeah.
Mommy, beat me up.
But I think
Well, do we-
this sounds like a fun angle, though, because we get a little fight here, we kill these guys, we take their identities, we do the role play where we try and, like, convince the other guys, and then we ambush them in the night. I think it'll be...
But is this outpost used exclusively for military people coming through, or could anybody theoretically stay here?
No, this is specifically Empire-related messengers and resources.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not open to the public at all.
So there's no way we could observe them doing their job a couple times to see what it looks like.
No, even if you were to walk up to the gates here, they would be maybe not openly hostile, but not friendly. They wouldn't be like, howdy doody, fellow citizens. They'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Get on the road.
Yeah.
How tall are the walls? Like, at a distance, like 10 feet, 20 feet?
20 feet.
20
Yep, and they're palisade.
Insane.
Yeah.
If you guys could
20-foot
distract them
palisade
at
walls.
the gate, I could fly over the wall in Birdman form.
Well, the real question is, how would you even get them to open the gate?
Well, I'm saying if
Right?
I'm inside the wall
image
and
now,
I sleep them, I
Yeah,
could
it-
open the gate, maybe.
that's true. If you can get inside, you could open the gate, but otherwise you're going to have to siege this place and climb these walls, and palisade walls are not necessarily easy to climb.
They're going to have night guards, but I doubt they have the resources to have like light going on everywhere. So they probably have light at the gate, and the gate's open from the inside or whatever. But gates are like,
Well, another
weird as
thing
it's
we
going to
could
sound,
do,
usually it's easier to climb the gate than the wall.
but we could, if we go from the back, I could fly to the top of the wall, drop a rope down, tie it to the back of the building, and then you guys could all climb up, and then we could attack them from the inside.
Oh yeah.
Do
that's
we
actually
think that we're
super
going to
easy.
be able to do a convincing, we man this outpost, we're with Verasi?
Yeah, don't see why not. Why not?
Okay.
All you got to do is roll that charisma check.
Yeah, I mean,
Then
I don't
this
see
is-
why not.
I'm just making sure, yeah.
You're going to be
Then
wearing the
this
armor.
is, you got to do this today because
They're
you're
coming
only
in
like
like a day
a
behind or
half
whatever.
day ahead of them, or maybe a full day ahead of them at this point. So they'll be here tonight.
All
And
right.
if this is the option you want to take, then we take it now, or we keep going down the road and see what other options present themselves.
Are you interested in that, Thyrene?
What do you think, Stephen? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems as good a plan as any. My only worry is that, like, I don't know how meta we're being right now in terms of looking at this map. Like, do we know there's only 5 guards here? Could there be, like, 10 more inside that are stationed there?
Oh, yeah,
or
there could be more.
There could be way more
There could
inside.
be more.
Yes,
But it is
this
a
is
small
just you
shit camp.
guys stopping along the road and
How
seeing
many
what's
can
up.
it be, though? I
It's
think
a-
we walk past it, we circle back around, come around the back.
Is this like to scale this fortress? Like, if I was a man standing here on this tile, like, is this how big I am? Like, or is this kind of more of an abstract thing?
this is to scale. I do want to say though that these squares are 5 by 5, right? And the tokens in the squares always look like they take up the full 5 by 5, but they don't quite. You know, no, you aren't 5 feet wide. You're only 3 feet wide.
Yeah,
so.
but like
Your
But
mom's
this is
5
a
feet
to
wide.
scale.
But a bed would take up like one of these squares or 2 squares or whatever, right? So
Something like that.
how
This
So
is a
it's not
tall
big-
building.
It's not
You
a
can
big
see
building,
the
you know.
you can see the beam of the roof is taller than the walls, and so you could have like 2 floors in here.
Ugh. There's probably
Do we
like 10
need-
guards in here.
There's
How
no
many
way there's
people?
10
How many
guards.
prisoners are they traveling with?
It sounded
3
like
wagons.
yeah.
So, do we think that's like 10 people or like 40 people or
Or 10 to 15.
10 to 15 people altogether?
Yeah, including the bear and the 3 elves.
Is getting like weapons like swords, is that like trivial for us, or would that be a big deal? Like getting like 10 arming swords to like pass out to prisoners if we like free them, or
Well, if we kill
If
these
you
guards,
moved
we'll
on-
get them.
bro?
That's true. If you kill these guards, this probably has spears and arrows on hand. Maybe some wood axes. If you go to a town, you could buy weapons. You could spend money and legitimately buy weapons. If you buy a shit ton of weapons, you might provoke some questioning. But if you visit, if it's a reasonable town and you're just looking to get like a bunch of spears, that's not a hard thing to do.
This place should have spears. It's a resupply place. You know, people
Yeah.
break their spears all the time. There's got to be at least like 5 to 10 spears here, including these people's arming swords that we're going to pull off of them.
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys will be. Oh my god, what are the rebels called again?
Freedom fighters?
Fireflies?
The Fireflies.
Fireflies.
They're probably like half elf rangers, right? They're going to be good with bows, and there's 4 bows here that we can hand out too. I mean, I don't know how cramped
Yeah.
the cages are, but maybe they can shoot from inside while we unlock them. Who knows what crazy stuff we could get up to?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I think this is as
we
good
should-
of a plan as
I think
any.
we
Yeah,
should
I
do
agree.
it. Yeah.
right.
So I think we go. Are we coming from top to bottom, Neil, or bottom to top?
North to south to south.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
So I think we go past it, and then we'll circle back around. And I want to come in from like down here somewhere. Yeah, like this.
Sure.
How
Why don't
high is
we
this
take
cliff?
like 15 feet in the back?
We'll handle it. It's going to be fine. There's no
Yeah,
one
yeah.
watching this side, right?
I mean, I know the tokens are looking like they're looking in one direction, but whoever's on watch are not just going to be staring in one direction their whole time. They're soldiers,
They're
they're
looking.
guards. They'll be
How
Yeah,
much
I understand that.
they'll
taller?
be hanging, they'll be chatting.
I'm trying to do like hold on, I need to draw a thing because I'm trying to do like the mental math because like here's the map of what I'm seeing. Like let's say that's the cliff at the back, and then we've got the building, okay, and then there's like the actual building that's in the thing, and then we've got the towers. How tall are these towers? Because like if you're doing like the math, they can't see shit if we're here. You know what I mean? Like whatever
The
this angle is.
floor of the tower will come to the top of the wall, and then the tower has its own like small curtain wall within it that like comes up to give them 3/4 cover from whatever might be coming below.
Yeah.
So anyone
this-
in the tower has good view, but you're right, not off the back. If you're at the base of this cliff down here, on the backside, like you were talking about, how would they see you?
there's no way they could see us.
They wouldn't see us.
But if you're approaching from the woods, 50 feet back, then they could see you, but not at the base of the cliff.
Yeah. So we just have to, we just can't be spotted on the way up.
Yeah.
We're gold.
Yeah, just don't get spotted. That's
Easy,
yeah.
dude.
Although,
You
I
made it
mean,
sound
I
like
would
it was
keep
gonna
in
be hard.
mind that, like, if they literally have an outpost here and this is the terrain around it, they must have. There's no way that it's set up in such that the only way they'd see anybody coming is
Yeah, it's from the front.
right there. They're going to have some, right?
Yeah, but they're not expecting people to try and climb over the back of the palisade wall, I'd imagine.
Well, isn't
This
that why
is
you
a
build a wall there? 'Cause you would
pacified
expect people to-
region.
Well, okay, that's true. too,
20
okay.
foot wall. Right?
But don't forget, these are dudes who are assigned to guard duty. Okay, if you're in
Yeah, they're not
going
gonna
to
be like
only the
elite
fucking
warriors.
losers are sent
Yeah.
to guard duty.
This isn't Neil Team 6.
No, and if it is, I fucking retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. Actually, there
was
shouldn't
really
be like
nice knowing
20
you, Jamie.
guards that come out of here or anything. It wouldn't make
No, I
sense to
wouldn't
have this so
think so, yeah.
heavily.
That's true, and also we're in a war. They're not going to have like a full complement of guards here because when you're in a war, you're like, okay, I can take 2 guards from here and 2 guards from here. This is a really safe road, so maybe this is an important road, so they only took 1 guard, right? But it shouldn't be full rotation. These guys have probably been out here for months on the same detail, not getting proper breaks, right? We're in wartime. They're not going to be fresh.
That's what you think.
All right. So
Doesn't that mean that they're super bored, and so anything that might be out of the ordinary would be really interesting to them?
No, because if I know anything about soldiers on deployment, they start making barbecues in their foxholes.
all right, we could stay here all day discussing things that could go wrong. That's what I think we all know. I think we all
Classic.
know that we could do that. Yeah. So.
Well, why don't we go to our break, and when
Yes.
we come back, we will siege the outpost and
Alright.
then attack the caravan.
Sounds good.
We'll be
Don't
back.
forget to do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So our party is here on a beautiful October day.
Yes.
All those lovely little the air. The trees are beginning to change colors. Birds are out chirping, getting their last feast before the winter time. It's a lovely, lovely time of year
Chirping. Yeah.
for murder.
So this first cliff here, how difficult is that to climb for everyone? Like just looking at it, do they need the rope to get up that as well?
It would be a climb check at, I would say, plus 20%. So all the non-rogues have a 60% chance to climb that cliff.
Save an 80% chance.
So they need the
No,
got
60
a-
is with the...
with including.
Oh,
plus
with
20.
it. Okay, okay.
I have a baseline 90% climb wall check, so if
Yeah.
that makes me auto succeed, I can
No,
just climb up and drop a
95 is
rope.
your highest percentage.
Okay. Well, first we have to get to the wall. Let's quickly lay out the plan. Okay, we need to get to the cliff without being seen.
Then I
We need to get
cast
up the
Alter
cliff.
Self. Right, you give me the rope. I'll fly up to the top of the cliff. I'll tie the rope to that tree. Then you guys all climb up the cliff. Then I'll untie the rope from the tree. I'll climb up to this bit here, right at the back where the peak of the roof is the highest.
You mean
No.
fly, right?
Fly,
Not
yeah.
climb.
Why, yeah. And then I'll tie
Wait,
the
how
Are
rope
you
long is the rope?
concerned that being
50 feet.
an Arakara is going to get you shot on sight?
Yes. That's why I don't intend
Okay.
to get seen.
Well,
Excellent.
the wall has a certain level of thickness, so maybe we should get up onto this area of the wall where we can all kind of huddle here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we make a break,
Yeah.
delta split, and we just fucking go.
agree. Strong agree.
Whereas we don't want to actually get up onto the peak here because this dude can see you, and he's like, "Oh, a bird!" Twang, 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 twang.
Sorry,
Oh,
I don't mean that. I mean, I'll stand on this specific point of the wall so that the peak of the roof is hiding me.
Okay, okay.
Is what I meant. Yeah. And then I'll tie the rope to this bit of the roof here, and then you'll all climb up the wall, and then we spring our attack.
I think we should, just do it in waves then. Wave 1 is
It-
getting to the cliff.
Is there some sort of distraction we can lay over here that would make it so that, I don't know, we don't have timed explosives, but you know what I mean? Is there something we could set off in this direction so they're looking this
Well,
way
August
while we're
could-
making our move?
I could just come up with my horse.
Yeah, August could just go up to the
Start
front,
talking.
and then we could go around the back, and then we spring our attack. When they turn around, August can attack.
Well,
Yeah. I need shelter for the night, and I
but you
have
won't
a
be
big
able to get in,
conversation with
no,
them.
Moot. The gate will block
the problem
you.
is he won't be able to get in.
Yeah.
We need to get to the tower and kill the archers without them getting a shot off, because that's 1d6 damage every time they shoot, potentially, and that's health we won't have for the next potential encounter. So,
Yeah.
Lucas rolling up, and we might be thinking, yeah, this is perfect, and then Neil is going to be like, oh, one of the guards, archers, is like, alert, alert, someone outside the gate, and now the whole place is awake.
Yeah.
True.
So I think maybe
So-
it's best we all just go around the back and hope they don't see us.
Yeah.
We're doing this. We're doing this at night.
No,
Yeah.
because
No,
we've got to
during
do
the
it.
day.
We've got to do it before
Before they
night,
get
'cause
here at
that's
night,
when
yeah.
they're going to get here. Yeah.
Oh.
When I said
Wait, so
alert,
what, wait, I don't
meant,
understand what was just said
awake.
about they're going to say everybody's awake. We are assuming
I
everybody's
meant
awake.
alert, not awake, sorry.
Alert, got it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be good if
There's
they
some-
alert on me in the front? Because then everybody's going to be focused at the front?
Yeah, but then you can't fight, right? It's because you're
Well,
not
it
gonna be able to
depends
get
if
in.
the gate's going to be open or not. Are they just going to leave the gate closed all day? Maybe.
Well,
The
why not?
gate
We
is
just-
closed.
the
You
gate's
walk
closed.
past. It is closed.
Here's a quick question. I can set an alarm spell. What if I set an alarm spell around here or something, and we just go in the back and we wait for an animal to walk over it? If there's animals that frequently venture through the
It's
area,
not a
and then
bad
at
idea.
least one of the guards goes out to investigate. It should be two should go out, one and a friend, to see what set the spell off, and then while that's happening, then we can make our way up the back.
It's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea.
Anything larger than normal rats
Yep.
will set off an alarm spell.
Yeah.
So you would
We'll be
need
waiting for a while.
a bunny or something to go through it.
We could set it off ourselves and then run.
you're gonna set off, make a huge noise, and then they see somebody running directly away from that huge noise that everybody is.
I'm just worried that we'll be waiting for ages for something to walk past and trigger that.
We could just.
You're gonna get a lot of squirrels in the area, but I'd say squirrels are about the same size as a large rat.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, to be clear, it's a creature larger than a normal rat, right?
Squirrel's bigger than a normal rat.
Oh, so squirrel might set it off,
Squirrel, rat. I would say the squirrel, rat are same. You'd need something bigger than a squirrel to set off alarm.
Okay.
The whole point of an alarm spell is usually to ignore things like squirrels walking through the area.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The alarm's a good idea, but I don't think we can reliably get it off. I think we should just try and get up without getting seen, basically. So yeah, Neil, we sneak towards the base of the cliff here in the most optimal
So it sounds like
direction.
It sounds to me like the party has walked down this road, then paused and looked at the camp for a little while, and then just kept walking, like most people might do.
Yeah.
And now that you're well down and beyond, you are circling around to try
correct.
to get to the backside, and you want to approach this from the backside, moving between the trees, trying not to be seen.
Yeah.
Because if you get spotted sneaking up to the back of this place,
Yes.
they're going to assume that you are troublemakers, and they will be on highest of alert and ready for you.
As I'm looking, so we're there now. We're kind of in the forest behind the camp, right?
In the forest behind the camp.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way vision works is like, if I can see them, they can potentially see me. So like,
That is indeed how vision works. Yes.
Usually,
right?
yes.
So I'm sure there is like an optimal path through the trees that like minimizes my exposure time, because if I can't see them, they can't see me, right?
Such an optimal path does exist.
Okay.
You
We've
just
got an
gotta
elf
find
here.
it.
We've got
Yeah,
an
that's
elf here. He's
true.
a godlike sneaker. Isn't that right, elf?
Are you wearing elven chain?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
he's just wearing regular clothes.
Yeah. I can indeed sneak around, but we normally sneak around at night, not in broad daylight.
Okay.
I think we have to do the right to left bit of it very, very far away, right? And like only come close when we're doing the final approach. So there's no risk of them seeing us. Like, how do I draw the line? I think. There's no like this. They're not going to see us in this direction because we're going to be like so far deep within the woods as we come across. That the only chance of
Referring
them
to
seeing
my
us is
previous statement on vision, if we go far south enough, which is technically north in this world, we will actually... We can't be seen until we're actually pretty damn close from behind.
Yeah. And we only come close when the building's in the way from that angle.
Yeah.
This is foolproof. We just got to do it.
Yeah, wait, what are we worried about approaching from behind?
We're
What are we
not.
worried seeing us?
We're not worried.
But also,
okay.
like, here's the thing. Again, like, if
We've
they
done
have
it.
this kind of vision angle,
We're
they
already
can
there.
see it.
We already did
We're
it.
there?
Yeah, we did it.
We're there.
You all agreed to do it like 5 times, and
Yeah.
I decided to stop waiting for you to finally agree, and I rolled their perception checks, and they did not notice. And the
Okay.
4 of you, where's Schnickelfritz the second?
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Just out
I
in the
mean, the
woods
only
somewhere?
place he can be is in the woods, tied up to a tree, right?
Okay, Schnickelfritz is just in the woods somewhere.
If he
by
dies, I'm
himself.
gonna be pissed, though.
We paid a lot
Okay.
for that horse.
It's all right.
Okay.
They got horses inside. Schnickelfritz wasn't even that good, but I love him.
Okay. Quick question, Neil. Do I feel like I'll be able to cast spells in Arakora form?
No, absolutely not. No way in hell. I do
Alright.
want to note that in Arakora form with Alter Self, you have half the movement speed and 2 classes lower on maneuverability.
Yep.
I'm going to read you what maneuverability class E is so that we're all aware. Class E is for flyers so large or clumsy that tight maneuvering is impossible. The creature must fly at least half of its movement rate each round and can only take turns up to 30 degrees in a single round. Thus, it can make 1 pass every 6 rounds. So it is the clumsiest form of flying.
Okay.
Jesus.
But am I foreseeing an issue with getting up this cliff and then up that wall?
I think you can just jump and flap your wings, and you can just ascend, right?
Yeah, I think so. So okay, so
The cliff is definitely not a question. Getting up to, like, flapping wings forward, a little awkward. The cliff, easy peasy. The wall,
Just have Renatus climb the wall.
you're a big bird man. Yeah.
Well, if
I
it's
can
easier
climb
for
this
him-
wall with a 95%.
all right, you just suck off the bad man, then you just do the climbing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, we'll just
literally
let
no
him
bird man
climb for a
needed.
bit. Let him
Don't
cook.
need to.
First
Alright, you
climb
cooking?
check for the cliff.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Easy peasy.
Are we
slip
all
down
able-
a rope. We're all up.
Dropped
I
down
grab the rope and I
Yep.
climb.
I investigate the wall before me. What do I see?
Technically, there's a chance that someone's going to fuck up and make some noises. Everyone roll me D100s. Do not roll a 96 or above.
This is serious.
It's just, yeah, it's
We're
fine.
getting
It's
nailed.
fine.
We're getting
it's
nailed
fine.
right now.
Classic.
All right, you get to the back of the wall. It's broad daylight. The birds are out. Life is good.
So looking at this thing here, there's like a little there's a little thing jutting out of the back of the hut, and also based on the look of these palisade walls, they look like they would be stumps, and they're not all going to be perfectly at the same level. So I
They're
reckon,
pointed tops.
oh, that makes it even easier to throw a rope over them because I can just.
Well, if you want to lasso and toss a rope over them,
No problem.
That's
Well,
super
although,
easy.
wait, hold on. Are we assuming, is that like kind of a noisy thing, or is that going to be kind of a quiet thing?
Silent.
rope slapping some wood.
Because I can see
well,
that being
it's-
like making no noise or making a ton of noise, depending on how does that work?
Well,
We
it's
would
20
know.
feet up, and I can get a boost. I'm six. Let's say I'm 6 feet tall, as I lie in my dating profile, and I get someone else who's 6 feet tall to boost me. I'm 12
Yeah, me
feet
too.
up. Is throwing is like hooshing a rope 8 feet carefully up that high gonna cause that much noise? I don't really think
Absolutely not.
so. There's no way it makes more noise than someone.
We don't even need the right.
Farting.
Actually, I mean, we're 6 foot with our arms up in the air. It's like 8 foot. Like, can we not just boost you to the?
Well, it's a 20-foot palisade.
Well,
right?
standing on someone's hands above their head is an acrobatic feat. You'd need
Okay,
like an acrobatics proficiency.
Let's just.
Renatus, why don't you
do
just
it.
climb the wall? Why don't you just make the climb walls
just
check?
climb the wall.
Yeah.
You have
Okay,
a
sure.
Yeah, what is
90%
the,
chance. There's a 10% penalty for this wall because it's palisade walls are really awkward. So you just need an 80 or lower on a D100.
Boom,
There
done.
you go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm up.
We just
Yeah,
gotta roll the
nice.
dice.
Yeah, just roll well, guys.
I
Arrakis, when you're here, not Arrakis, Renatus, when you get up here, you're in a good position to see what's going on. Now, this roof does extend over the wall, but not by that much. If you crouch right here, you are invisible to anything on the other side of this. But if you were to like move over like this, your head would be poking over this ledge, right?
So you're saying
Um,
I was envisioning a wall like this, right? Like I'm going to draw a triangle, but you're saying it's actually like this, and I'm like crouched here. Like I was expecting
it's
to be
a
able
little
to
bit
stand
more
up.
than that. You can
Yeah.
you can crouch, not full stand, but like squat. If you go off to the sides, you're going to be getting into some trouble here. So you can do this. You could get 2 people up here, no problem. But once you start getting the 3rd and 4th person up here, it's going to get a little awkward because this is a palisade wall. It's a wall of pointed spikes. There's not like flat ground for you to stand. You're kind of like wedging yourself between the wall and against the building, and you're going to be in this position where you're going to have to like start awkwardly maneuvering to try and remain underneath the wall's profile. So you're here, but now that you're here, now that you can actually see what the ground is like up here, it's looking kind of dicey.
I relay this information to the party,
We just gotta go right.
whisper.
Like,
and there, can I can't. I guess from the way that the angles of stuff, I wouldn't be able to see what was actually going on down here. If I could slip down here and hide behind something,
You'd have
and
to
let
poke
someone
your
else
head
get up.
over the top, which I don't think you want to do.
No. Oh
could
shit!
lie
Do I have like
flat
a?
on the roof? It's a bit too late to be having
Ooh.
second thoughts now, isn't
No,
it?
no. So what I'm gonna do is I'm really good at climbing. Okay, so the palisade is all spiky stuff like this, right?
Absolutely.
So, and the roof is like this, right? And there's kind of like people
Yes.
crouched or whatever up here
Yes.
hiding. You can get 2 people up here. Can
Yes.
I like hang my arms from this palisade and dangle, ready to leap over, and then we can get an extra person up? Because I'm a
Yes,
godlike
if you want to
climber.
dangle yourself back off the other end down below.
but
Totally.
I'm gonna shimmy over a few
Yes.
palisade, so I'm positioned.
Yeah, I
like
just
here.
need another climb walls check for you, another 80%
Classic.
chance to just scamper along the other side, and then you don't no other checks needed. Then everything's
Wait.
golden.
I'm already up here.
'Cause this isn't-
I'm lowering.
this
Hold on,
isn't-
I'm lowering myself down, and I'm
Going
shimmying
sideways
across.
is easier than going up, Neil. You should take off the -10.
I've already done the hard part.
That's true. All right. Okay.
That's true.
Regular chance, no penalties. 90
Right,
or
perfect.
lower on a D100.
How could you fail?
There's no way.
Oh, yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
When a natural one is good for you.
Yeah, I now
Excellent.
shimmy, and I'm hanging from the wall in this position. And now 2 more
Excellent.
people can get up.
Yeah. Excellent. With
I
the
think-
rope and the wall, I think you just guys need to not roll a
Arrakis.
96 or above.
You need to probably go. Can you cast spells in bird form?
No, I'm not. No, I can't.
You're
I
gonna
need
have to
fly.
put those guys to sleep somehow.
Well, I can only do one tower at a time.
I'll raise my hand. I have a sleep spell.
Okay, then you both should go up and put them to sleep, and then
Okay,
I'll come
I'll
up
take the
at the
left
end.
tower. You take the right tower.
Who's right? I'm taking the bottom tower.
Okay, you take
Yeah.
the bottom. I'll take the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Each of you just, again, don't roll a 96 or above on a D100 to climb with the rope.
you're such a
This is a
shitter.
kneeling.
Easy. Yeah. I'm gonna roll a 43.
These are very reasonable rolls that I'm asking you to
Okay.
make. Look at these.
Okay.
Did he say 90 or 96 or
He
above?
said
96.
96. You're
So
good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Both of you scale the thing. All you got to do is step to the side, and cast your spells synchronously.
I start to climb.
You begin to climb. They move to the sides. I'm going to roll a d10 for the enemy at a penalty to see if they are surprised. You want them to roll a 3 or less. And they're going to have a... What is the ambush penalty?
-7.
Oh, Nick, you're always so funny.
Okay, -6. They're
Yum.
goblins. Don't forget that they're only little. So
Are
that
these
that
fucking
wall.
goblin archers?
Yeah, they're goblins. The walls
Oh
have been
my
made for
God.
humans. Don't forget. So it's only like they're only just
Can
about
they
seeing
even
over the curtains.
see? Are they
Yeah,
standing
true.
on boxes? Like what? Toss me.
I think it's a -4. It is a -4. Oh, perfect. They're completely unawares as the two of you slide to the sides as this gentleman scales to the top. Roll me D100. Garp.
Do we hear, just while we're up here, do we hear in an obvious way, like any noise coming from inside of this place?
Nope. August, roll me a D100 as you climb.
Oh, I just did. Sorry. 34.
Oh.
Where did the
Is that
guards
okay?
go, by the way?
Success.
Where
Yeah,
did
yeah.
the soldier and the armor go?
We never saw him.
You
Oh,
never
we
saw him.
Okay.
Both of you had cast sleep spells. How many people does sleep affect?
2d4 hit die.
Each of you roll me a 2d4.
Roll high,
What
Steven.
is roll 2d4? Okay.
That's for the number of hit dice affected.
Yeah.
In the AoE, all
Can we
creatures must
average
be
those
within
rolls
30
together?
feet of each other. No, we cannot.
Ah, there's no way goblins are level
Um,
2. No chance.
What level do you have to be to get a save?
Well, it's 3 hit. No, they don't get any saves. It's 3
Um,
hit die. I'm saying
When I
3
hear the
hit die
spells
should
going
hit
off,
2
by the way,
goblins.
I would like to shimmy over the wall now.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
climbing up to go over.
Yes. Monsters with 4 hit dice or more are unaffected.
We did it. We won.
Wait,
4
hold on.
plus 3 hit die, Neil. 4 plus 3.
4 plus 3, I'm sorry, which is essentially 5 hit die creatures.
Yeah.
So as you come up and over, you will see that everyone here is asleep. There is a guard. He's hanging out back here in the shade of this building. Wait a minute, is this within 30 feet of Steven?
I want to fight him.
No, this guy is not asleep.
Wait,
but
we
he
within
will.
30 feet of my roll.
Oh, yours is the 7. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yours is the 7. Then yes. Yes, he is asleep. Look at
Okay.
that.
Am I now here in this corner then?
Yes, you're here in the
Perfect.
corner.
It's perfect.
I
Yes,
stalk
yes, yes.
my way around, gathering intel. I look around
Mm-hmm.
this corner. What do I see?
You see a Varasi guard sitting on the ground with his shield across him and a spear over his shoulder, banded male, having a nice snooze.
Do I hear anything coming from the house?
Pretty quiet in there.
Okay, I immediately step
Why
over
don't you
to
give
this
me a
guy.
detect noise check? Why don't you stand here for 5 minutes and listen
Nope.
carefully?
I step forward and I start disarming this guy. I take his shield and sword and I very silently and carefully place them out of his reach.
Excellent. This man is now disarmed.
Easy.
I assume my friends are going to act now. I imagine that was like...
I think that was my round climbing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If we go on to the next round, I'm going to start moving.
Next round. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to go
now
up
everyone-
to here.
Popping off like this?
I'm going to stay on the roof, Neil, I think.
Well, I think
Yeah.
also, don't we want to make sure that this is empty? Isn't that the most important thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
These guys should all be asleep for like 5 rounds, right? Or 5 rounds
Agreed.
per level.
They're
You
asleep
can go
for a
first,
while.
Steve. I'll
Yeah. There
let
should
you
be
go first.
20 minutes, so they're gone.
Yep. So now that I've disarmed this guy and stuff, I'm going to move and I'm going to start looking. Are there windows into the house? Can I see how many floors there are?
It is a 2-story building with a singular door and no windows. And as
Okay.
you peer in through the already open door, you can see there's not anything in there. There's a second floor
Not
to
on the
it.
first
There's like a
floor.
ladder that goes to some other beds, probably on the second floor, or a hayloft of some kind. So unless somebody's sleeping in the attic, it's empty.
I will
I'll kinda
do
motion
a
for Ren
move
to go and
silently
check it,
to
yeah.
try and go up. And I actually
Oh, you
succeeded.
passed it. Nice.
Fantastic. You scale the ladder, and there's no one in the hayloft. There are some more beds up there for passengers, but that's it. It's empty.
I call out with a hoot of an owl, letting my party know that the coast is clear and the house is conquered.
I head over to here.
Excellent.
I go up,
Mhm.
and I disarm the goblins of their bows.
Excellent.
Uh,
I'm noticing that you're not killing
We're
anyone
going to have
yet.
to
We're
kill
just
We're going to have to kill
disarming.
these guys.
They all need
yeah.
well,
So
disarm
that's
them
what
first
I'm
and then
about
kill
to
them.
do. Yeah.
I jump down when I hear that there's no enemies.
Disarm.
Yeah, I think we should
I
be able
take
to
my
just instantly
glaive,
kill.
and I
sleeping person,
insta-kill
right?
one goblin.
Yeah, we should be able to just insta-kill them.
Yeah. I mean, they're asleep and you have big ass weapons. You can just
Yeah.
plunge the swords through their necks. The thing is that when someone dies, they make some noises, they flop about. So as you kill this goblin, they might, alert the nearby goblins, but the nearby goblins are sleeping. And it's not ordinary sleep, it's magical sleep.
I might actually,
Um,
after I kill that one and I see blood go, in places, I might tell them to wait. We should kill them out of the camp.
Okay, we'll tie them up then.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, we're going to
And
need time to
I'll-
bury their corpses as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait,
tie this guy
also,
up.
before we kill this guy, maybe we should ask him
You
questions.
should talk to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I just tie him up while he's asleep, so he can't do anything.
tying him up will wake him up. Like you will succeed on the tying, but the
That'll be a way.
effort of tying him up will slowly rouse him from his slumber.
Okay,
Just to
well,
let you know.
I'll try to time it to where we deal with all these other goblins.
Deal with the other goblins
Um,
first. Great.
Wait, hold on.
What do you do with them?
For magical sleep, don't you have to wound or damage somebody? I think you can manipulate magically sleeping people quite a bit without it waking them up.
I do think I've
This
tied people
is
up asleep
the ruling. Slapping or wounding awakens the creature, but normal noises do not. It takes a full round for them to awaken. So I would say that tying somebody up is probably pretty it's a long process. I would say it's enough interaction to wake them on par with
Okay,
a
'cause in
singular
the-
slap.
On the spell on Regal Goblins, it says when a wizard casts a sleep spell, he causes a comatose slumber to come over one or more creatures. Which makes it sound like it wouldn't, but maybe it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it's the same spell, just the second to last paragraph that I linked.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to tie this goblin up. He can wake up, and then we'll tie all the other goblins up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do as this goblin wakes up while you're tying him? How do you keep him quiet?
I don't think I give a fuck, right? Why do I care if they're quiet? But I mean, I'll go like this.
Yelling might
know.
alert the goblins on the other tower, right? Because that's not a normal noise.
It probably wouldn't. It might alert them. But, maybe there's someone walking down the road who's just out of sight who then hears goblins crying and shouting.
That's true.
Do you
Maybe.
care? Maybe you don't care.
I do care. I mean, I'll go
I
like
want
this
to alert
to
you
him,
to
but if he's
every
gonna
possible danger.
Yeah.
So
if he's
that
gonna
way you're
scream,
not
he's gonna
surprised.
scream, but I'll motion to be quiet, and he'll see the dead goblin next to him. I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, I tie him up.
I'm going to give our goblin morale check at disadvantage. Yep, he will fail, and you can tie up this disarmed goblin. He will be nice and quiet as you tie him to pieces.
Okay, I can.
Pieces together? He's tied up.
If I can gag and tie this guy and then make my way to this tower, that would be ideal
Perfect.
on that same round.
Yep. You're going to gag and tie this person. It will awaken him over the course of the round, but he will definitely be tied up by the time he stirs. This guy, however, he's a little bit more brave. He's a little bit more, what do you call it? He's a better soldier. Let's just say.
He's bought into the cause.
Yes. He needs a morale. Just is better than a goblin is all I want to say, really.
Yeah.
Nope, but he too will see that he's been captured and will shut the fuck up as you time up. I'm just going to hand wave the other goblins up here. Let's not drag this out
Perfect.
longer than it needs to.
Everyone's
So
tied up, everyone's gagged, etc. We discuss what we do next.
Okay, well, I think we
Perfect.
march them, away from the prisoners. We march them out into the trees and kill them, bury them.
Yes,
I
it
don't think we
looks
have
like
to
there's a
bury
ladder
them,
here.
but I think we take them out back here. I think we could easily just kill them and stash the bodies, right?
Yeah, like we could even stash it behind the cliff. Like, why would anyone ever go behind
Yeah.
the cliff, right? Unless
Yeah.
they're doing literally what we did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess if someone was like, I guess if they're staying here tonight and one of them was like, oh, I want to go for
I
a
need to go
walk,
for a piss,
and then they're walking around here, and then they're like pissing down the hill. Yeah, we should stash
look,
them.
do you see where I'm just literally right behind the trees here? There's no way it would be so unbelievably weird for them
Yeah,
to
I
do.
agree. As long as we
Yeah.
bury them, we'll be fine.
Crazy.
I was just making sure we didn't
Bury
put
them. You
somewhere,
don't
like,
got time to
super
bury
obvious.
them.
We don't
Time
need to bury
get
them.
them in a hole. Well, I'm not saying they have to be 6 feet down. Just so that if
Yeah,
somebody
but-
does go for a piss in the trees, they don't stumble across 5 corpses.
They'll just see a couple of graves, just like
Although-
some large mounds of earth.
We have not killed the human yet because we want to interrogate him.
Yeah, we want to interrogate him.
So roughly,
Okay.
how much time do we think we have until
Why do we
they-
need to interrogate him?
Why not?
Well, good intel, right?
Okay, yeah, I suppose.
Maybe
him
to
about-
ask for what do you normally do when people come through? What's
we
like the
could
process
get,
or
We
procedure?
could get his name, I guess, and the name of the outpost, perhaps.
Get his name, what the procedure is for when like prisoners are being stored here. Do prisoners actually pass through here? Because we might have just wasted our time, although it fucking went flawlessly.
There's no horses inside?
I didn't put them on the map, but there's a pair of horses in the stable over here.
Free horses, baby.
Huge.
Those are Empire horses, sir. They are branded with the V's of Verossi. You can't go riding those horses around.
I will paint over the V's with a sick ass thunderbolt or something. Okay, it'll be fine.
You're just gonna paint over the horse.
That's what people literally do that to steal cattle. It's like that's a thing.
Yeah, but if you're gonna keep the horse forever, you're gonna have to just keep painting it like every day.
What's paint upkeep on a horse?
Probably cheaper than buying a new horse.
Exactly. There you go.
So, I think we should, kill the goblins, and then when we interrogate the guy, make sure he doesn't see anyone's face, right? Because speak with dead. So let's interrogate him with him facing a tree with a sword to the back of his neck. Make him
Well,
talk.
he's already been woken up. He's already seen Renata's face, at least, and he's seen a bunch of other. I think it's too late for that.
All right.
But you got him here. Party.
I take him inside where he's less likely to be heard if he does decide to shout to try to alert people from around. I also say some of us should be on the walls because people going past will expect there to be people on the walls. I don't know who wants to volunteer for that. I guess I... No, I help interrogate for the next few minutes.
I can be up here. I don't have anything. This is your guys' thing.
What
okay.
armor is the guy who is being interrogated wearing?
Banded mail.
Is that better than my chainmail?
Banded mail does provide AC 6, but banded mail needs to be sized. So if you were to wear his armor, the penalties from it not being sized for you would
Got it.
make
But
it
he
not
could
good
still
enough.
wear it, though, to look like him.
Yes, you could wear it to look like the guard, no problem, but it would be less effective than your chain. Chain
Is
is
it
beautiful
Verossi
because... Yes, it is.
Sorry.
The shield is what has the Verossi symbol, really. That's what does it.
Could
Not
you
the
take...
armor wouldn't indicate, but the shield would.
Could you take this armor and get it like refit for someone? Like, oh, you
Totally,
let out this joint
absolutely.
here, which would be a lot
Yeah.
cheaper than getting a whole new suit made, right?
100%. Yeah, it's an
Okay.
great to grab.
I'm gonna go grab Schnickelfritz while they do the interrogation, and I'll just take the shield.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to role play the interrogation.
Well, just tell me what you're
I
up
stand
to.
off, in the corner so he can't see me, but I can still sort of see and hear what's happening. Or, I'll stand behind him or something. I just want to be obscured so he can't see my face.
I mean, it's
Okay.
a dark room to begin with, but yeah, you
Yeah.
can hang out there.
Okay, so I kneel down in front of him as he's looking at me, and I imagine he's looking at me like, that kind of like prisoner, like, oh God, what the fuck have I gotten myself into?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say to him, look, buddy, this is above your pay grade. Nobody wants to get people hurt out here. You thought it was just a simple guard duty thing, right? You thought you were going to be here, it was going to be fine. You get a few coins, and then you get on leave, you go to the tavern, you have a great time, okay? Unfortunately, today's not that day for you, but it can be that day for you still if you tell me everything that I want to know. Now I'm gonna take that rag off your face, okay? And the first thing I want to hear is what your name is, what your rank is, and where you're from. Okay? And I wait until, like, I'm expecting him to nod back.
Is that a singular nod?
Okay, I pulled a rag down.
I'm Sergeant Sequoia. I'm sorry, it was name, rank, and what?
Where you from?
Say, it's okay. You're in a very stressful situation. But look, we're not friends, but we don't have to be enemies, okay? With your name, your rank, and where you're from.
I'm Sergeant Sequoia, and I'm from... The DM needs time to find the nearby city. I'm from Silverwatch, just down the road.
Okay. Did you always want to be a soldier for the Veracity Empire?
Fuck no.
Yeah. It sucks, right? It's terrible. Now, you're a good guard, aren't you? Exactly. Do you have a family?
I got siblings, parents, nieces, nephews, cousins.
No wife?
No-
No girlfriend?
No wife,
boyfriend?
no kids. No boyfriend. No
Would you,
husband.
would you like to have kids someday?
You can see like a line of fear cross his furrowed
I take
brow
out
as
my
he's
shadow
imagining
blade
what sort
and
of
I
threat
place
this might be.
I place it between his legs and I say, listen, if you want to get out of here alive, you need to start talking. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I don't want kids, no sir. But I do like
Great.
my penis.
This empire is
Love it.
already overpopulated. Now listen to me. Do prisoner wagons ever come to this outpost?
Yes.
Do they stop here overnight?
Yes, sometimes. Usually.
Okay. I take the dagger away. See, we can be friends. And I will actually untie his hands. I'll say, look, you're not in any danger anymore. You're fine. Okay, so, and now I take out my little tea kit and I start making tea and I hand him a tea. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry I had to be a hard ass there. It's like, you don't know what it's like when we have to deal with guards and they just lie all the time. They just fucking lie all the time. But you're one of the good ones. I like you. And so I'll shoot the shit with him kind of calmly. And I'm trying to be like, okay, we're buddies. He passed the test, right?
Yeah.
Passed the test.
Well, he'll tell you that, Silverwatch is just a town and a half away from here. He's like 30 miles, maybe 40 miles from home. He gets to go home every now and then. This is his job. He works with goblins. He has to sleep in the same building as goblins. And it's a shitty job, but like times are hard and you got to take the jobs that you can get, right? So here he is. And he's not, he's actually not a bad warrior. He's pretty good with the sword. And if you let him go, he'll just switch sides. He's happy to turn coat, because if there's money in it.
I'm going to tell him, listen, I don't think we can let you go just yet, but
Of course not.
there is a prisoner wagon coming here, and we need to intercept it because they got one of our friends, and they think he's like some important dude. But like, look at me. Do I look like I'm a terrorist? Okay, I'm just an adventurer. They got one of my friends, and I want my friend to be okay.
Yeah.
So that's all. All I want is to, when they come here, I want to break my friend out, and we're gonna run. Okay, and we'll leave you tied up somewhere nearby, and they'll find you when they're looking for us. It's gonna be that simple. No big deal.
He shakes his head. No.
No what?
If you leave me tied up, they're gonna beat me. They're gonna do terrible things to me if they catch me.
What
alive.
What if we make it look like you're on the verge of death?
Okay.
We can rough you up a little bit, and they'll know that you went down fighting.
Yeah, you're gonna have to like put a stab wound to my arm or something, but like not so much that I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I know. There's a place you can stab where like you avoid the bad places.
Yeah,
you'll
just-
be fine. You'll be fine.
You gotta take me down real good, all the
We
way to the
will.
ground.
Listen, I want you.
But
What was your
don't-
sister's name? What was your sister's name?
Bethany.
Bethany. Do you and Bethany get along, right? You like going to the bar with her?
Yeah.
And her
Yeah.
husband Frank.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
If you play nice, you'll get to go hang out with Bethany and Frank again, okay? No problem.
Love it.
Okay, so then I kind of like grill him on the information of like, where do the people sleep when they come, prisoner wagons, like, that sort of thing.
Name
Like,
of the
what's the
outpost.
procedure? What is the name of the
Yeah.
outpost? What is the procedure when
What's
a guard
his
is being...
name?
What's his name was
Sergeant Sequoia.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Sequoia.
That's right.
What's the procedure for like verifying who the prisoner wagon leader is, letting them in? Where do like the high-ranking mages sleep, so on and so forth?
Yeah, well, he'll tell you that in this situation, whenever there's like a prisoner wagon that comes by, they park the wagons in here. They keep the oxen separate from the horses. They just let the oxen roam around the courtyard. Then the goblins will take watches at night because they got night vision. They're great night watchmen. And the beds here and the beds in the loft are for whoever in the prisoner wagon is coming along. And they'll usually keep 2 of their own people on watch at night because the prisoner wagons are only for political prisoners, high value targets, and you need 2 pairs of eyes plus whatever goblins are on watch to keep an eye on them. And so
Are they gonna
2
be-
people will take watches over the night.
Where
Are
do
they
the
going to freak
mages
out
sleep?
because we don't have goblins on watch?
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about too.
It'll be unusual. I don't know if they're gonna freak.
Okay, how do we explain that away? Think.
The goblins are unreliable shitbags that ran off for some reason.
We sent them out to track someone.
I don't think they would sent out.
What do you
Wait, real
think,
quick.
Sergeant? I give him
What was the
kinda a
position
little
of the carts that were coming through? Where were our people? Were they in the middle cart or the last cart or the first cart?
They were in the first. They were in the middle cart, second cart. Yeah. Explaining why the goblins would be gone. I mean, 1 or 2 of them could have been, killed by a boar or a bear while they went through the woods foraging and doing goblin shit. All 4 of them dead is a little tough. Maybe different patrol came through and needed the goblins.
Okay, who was the last patrol who came through?
It was his hands are free because Ren untied him.
Yeah.
And he points to this little table over here at the end of the building. There's a logbook.
Okay, I'll go to the logbook and I'll read it.
Yeah, it was a Hell Vaughn came through here. Vaun.
All right,
Came here last with a group of folks.
When I look through the logbook, do they say like Kelvon, took 2 horses with him, blah blah blah? Is that
Yes.
in? Okay, then in there, I'm gonna
Nice.
say, like, I'm gonna read through it. If they ever say like take goblins, I'm gonna copy the same form. I'm gonna ask him because I assume it's in his hand to
It is
put
in his hand.
that they took the 4 goblins with them.
Perfect. Yeah, he'll just write plus, Kelvon conscripted 4 goblins as bodyguards. I
How
protested.
far away? How far away is the next town or outpost?
The
Like, is there a chance
next
that they would
town
come
is
through
like
here,
3
see there's-
hours.
Is there a chance they'd come through here, see there's no goblins, be like, okay, well, we'll just continue on through then?
Well, they usually stop here because it's 6 hours to the previous town and 3 more to the next town.
Yeah.
So this time of year, it's just too far to go in a single day. They
Yeah,
could.
but I'm saying if they came here and they saw that there was nothing, that there were no goblins and the defenses looked subpar, would they think it's better to just rough it and go the 3 hours south?
I mean, only if they had like something really, really important.
Well,
Well,
they've got 6 goblins of their own, and they've got like 4 armed knights and spellcasters. I don't think they're going to be worried that there's 4 goblins missing in terms of their own defense.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's just unusual, but we have the logbook to say that it happened.
So are we going to play it where the 3 of us, apart from August in the armor, are hiding upstairs in the house?
Well,
He's here on his own. Or you think you
Wait.
should do it, Jamie?
Why do we?
I'm going to be hiding with a dagger wherever this guy tells me the
Smart.
mages sleep.
Okay. But yeah.
What were you
mages
gonna
like to
say?
sleep.
Steve?
We think he's going to be loyal to us.
I think that
no.
it's not worth the risk. I would love it if he could work with us, but I just don't know if I trust him.
Yeah, why would he not? As soon as these guys come
Yeah.
in, like imagine how much he'd be rewarded.
So
by
we're gonna
saying,
have
like,
to
look,
obviously, I'm not saying this in front of him, Neil. We're going to have to get rid of him, and I'm going to take over his spot. I'm going to be Sergeant
Sequoia.
Sequoia. I have it fucking writ, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then me and Ren and the elf hide in the top floor of the house, right? Hopefully the wizard and the guards sleep in the bottom floor. We can be like, our guys are upstairs.
How many guards are there? Does anyone remember?
How many guards are there?
was
Like on
6
their
goblins,
encampment?
there was a wizard, and there was a high-level warrior, and what was it again?
4, I think. 4 armed guards.
Yeah.
6 goblins.
But 2 are going to stay awake at night.
4 armed guards, 6 goblins, a wizard, 2 carriage drivers. And you can see there's only 5 beds down here, and then there's way more upstairs. There's 5.
You could bring more beds
6,
down
7.
here.
Yeah, but are we really going to risk the chance that you guys are all upstairs, right? And then someone goes up there for something, you know?
Well, how else do we explain the fact that there's like 4 humans here?
Oh, well, we don't, right? Because he can be the sole guy, and like there's plenty of places that we could hide you guys. Like there's like boxes and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, if anyone does like a serious investigation, they're going to find you. But we could definitely stow you away. Like,
all right, yeah. So you can hide in the top floor of the building.
Yeah, because
I'll hide like under the top with these boxes here, and then like maybe somebody else can like hide under these sticks or something.
Where do the spellcasters stay, Sergeant Sequoia? In your experience,
Motions to the ground right next to him. Just down here, or up on the top floor, whichever they choose. They outrank me, so they get to pick whatever they want.
I assume if the goblins are downstairs, the casters will be upstairs, or vice versa. Where do the goblins usually sleep? In here. I say, I can probably smell it, right?
Man, they normally sleep down here. These are the goblin beds.
So it's going to be less goblin odory upstairs. So I reckon the wizard's going to sleep upstairs.
I can just tell. I can even say like, this is where the goblins sleep. You should be upstairs. I'll handle that.
You should maybe try to direct the wizard to the bed that I'll be hiding beside.
Yeah,
there are 8 beds upstairs, just for the record.
For the Shadow Blade, I can literally so. What exactly makes me visible again? So like, let's say I'm standing stock still. I do nothing. If I lift a foot off the ground, do I become visible?
If you do it quickly, you will, but if you slowly lift your foot over a period of time, no.
So if I creep like a shadow around, like around per tile, could I, like, let's say, the wizard is like a bed over, could I reposition over to execute it? Because what I'm thinking is, if the Shadow Blade is just like you literally cannot move and you get one ambush attack or whatever, I really have to make it count and like pick the right place to, because there's only one wizard, right? And he has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what does this Shadow Blade thing do?
It melds you into the darkness. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. If somebody's sleeping, isn't it like an auto kill without any special abilities?
Should be, but it's not.
Oh.
Yes, but
if you are standing over them and they're asleep, it's an auto kill.
Oh,
okay.
I mean, I will sometimes depending on situations, they might get a chance to wake up, but if you're actually just standing right over them already, it's usually on their approach where you might make the noise that would wake them.
I just want to say that I think, Steve, you should probably be outside with, like, I don't know, I can put a rope or something on the outside for you to climb in later. But I'm going to need help killing the 2 armed guards outside to let everyone free.
Why am I outside? Because you don't want people to see me? Or?
Yeah, I guess you could be in a barrel.
Wait, the armed guards outside. Where are the cages kept? Sorry.
I think they're going to be kept out here, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I could also hide in shadows there, near that.
I think you killing the wizard is the best thing you can do. I think hiding in the top floor, we know he's going to be there. I think even if you can't, like, kill him from invisibility, you can probably still kill him if you get the jump on him, right? You'll still be able to sneak up on him. Mm-hmm. And then I think that, like, I hide under here maybe, and then I'll wait for commotion and then, like, come out and sleep whoever I can see. And I actually think if Stephen is outside and can work on freeing the prisoners, maybe that's good too.
When you say outside, sorry, like outside of this house, outside of this fortress?
And then outside of the fortress, presumably the.
Where do we
prisoners
think?
being kept in here?
Yeah,
gonna be
they
kept
probably
in
get
here,
kept
yeah,
inside,
Okay,
right?
so he's
Okay.
outside
So
the building.
we'll
I'm
put
sorry.
you in a barrel.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings style?
Yeah, you know, I'll grab a barrel. I'll bring it over here, Koibu. I know I can't move it, but I'll bring it up here to where the archers would be, and I'll put it there.
You're gonna put a barrel in the tower? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a barrel in the tower, and on top of it, I'll put some, you know, just like a few arrows on top.
Yeah, some stuff on top of it. And who's gonna be hiding in the barrel?
It's gonna be
Me?
Siren.
Siren, yeah.
All right.
Brilliant.
Iron's gonna be hiding in the barrel.
And out here in this barrel over here, that's literally here, I'm going to put the weapons that we're going to be gathering. The short swords, I would assume the goblins
Bows.
had little short swords or anything like that.
The goblins had daggers and bows, but you can find spears in this pile of supplies out here.
Yeah, I'll put the spears in here, just like, you know,
The spears
would
will
just-
stick out of the barrel.
Yeah,
They're-
that's okay,
they're
right?
Too long. Yeah, if you want
I'm
them
not
to
trying.
be
I'm not trying to
visible.
conceal them. Yeah, it's just going to be like
Perfect.
a barrel of spears, you know?
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, and then Arrakis is going to hide under this tarp, and Renatus is going to hide on the second floor in a corner, away from the beds, and blend into shadows. And what are we
Yep.
doing with dear Sergeant Sequoia?
Well,
He's getting
I
ripped.
told him many lies.
I think he's gotta
turned
die.
into worm food.
All right, we're done.
I stand there with
Why
my
don't we?
glaive and my shield. I can't use both, so if it ever comes down to it, I'll be dropping the shield and using my glaive.
Okay.
Do you have an arming sword on you as well, like to
No.
make you look the part? Okay.
His sword, right?
Wait, there's the guard's sword,
Yeah.
spear. You got a spear, right? Sergeant Sequoia had a spear.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to my glaive. I don't think people are gonna say anything about it.
So the trap is laid.
Yep.
It only takes a little while for the enemy approaches. It's not quite evening, but it is getting later in the day when you can see the caravan approaching.
Okay. I'll
We're
leave the
gonna
gate
go
closed.
Only you could
to our
fuck it up now,
break.
mate.
We go to a break.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, here we are.
Trap is set.
Cards are played. Trap
Here we
is set.
are.
Spring is loaded. The knives are sharpened. The
Uh,
pit traps are dug.
The enemy.
The rope is well maintained.
We did have one or two quick preparation questions. One was about
Oh, yes.
the barrel that Bart, aka real name, insert I have forgotten, is in.
Siren.
That one.
Yeah, this is like it's. I would imagine you'd like set it on top of my character, and then I could just like stand up and like easily move it or something. Or if
I
it's a
think
barrel
you're
that I'm
in a barrel and the lid is on you, and you can just pop the lid off.
okay, but if I do that, I'm gonna be able to climb out easily. It's not gonna be like 2d4 rounds to like climb out of the barrel or something because it's.
It'll just be easy, right?
You'll just
One, two.
step out of the barrel.
Perfect.
Why do you talk like that, Koibu? Like you wouldn't have us do a 1d100 roll to see if we forgot to breathe and if our characters randomly die because of that. Okay, listen, I'm just making sure. All right.
I like how
I love your
Steven's
paranoia. It's
PTSD.
good.
Listen. All right.
It's good to double check these things. It
That's
really
good. All right.
is.
I
That's
agree.
question one. Question two is more of a statement. I was a prince. I worked and had, many military training. So I don't think I should have trouble of like greeting this general or fucking major or captain
you've
who
got
comes up.
Proper
So
etiquette proficiency, don't
that's
you?
right, I do.
Well
We
played.
both check his character sheet. He does.
No, I knew I had it. Yeah, I do have etiquette. So I'm gonna leave the gate closed until they come up because I think it'd be a little too quick if I just open the gate for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
remember, you've got to be suspicious of them.
That's
as well.
right.
Yeah.
So, everyone else is hiding. The first guard will approach the gate and
Hail.
bam, bam, bam on the gate. What'd you say?
Hail!
Hail! We're here. We're bringing prisoners.
Who is we?
We're here for the night. Archmage Only is bringing a patrol of prisoners to the capital.
All right. Do you have your
requesting
documents?
refuge for the night. Of course we do.
All right. I assume there's like a little slide that I can open.
Yeah,
be
there's
my
like a little
assumption.
face slide so you can
Yeah.
talk to people.
I'll open that. Can I see them?
He looks at you and gives you the like, really? You gonna fucking make me do this bullshit? He says, he like gestures to the back of him. Do you see those prisoner wagons?
I do. I'm gonna need to see the documents though. Kel Vaughn took my goblins, and it's just me here right now. I want to make
What?
sure everything's on the up and up before I open the gate.
What do you mean he took your goblins?
It's some bullshit. He came by and he demanded my goblins.
Son of a bitch. Hold on. He grumbles and heads back all the way up to the second cart to... I can't remember what I just named him. Only. To Archmage Only. And we'll speak with Archmage Only. And you can see through your little like window slot, the mage just like fucking shaking their head. And then hopping off the wagon and coming forward together with you. Now you grew up in the time when your empire was conquered by the Varasi forces, by the Varasi Empire. So you're pretty familiar with how these things work. You've got documentation and paperwork to prove that these carts are going to a certain destination, and that you're under a charter from the magistrate of this area to the magistrate of that area, which would be your full-fledged paperwork. Usually, when things are apparent enough, you don't even bother with this. So together,
They took my goblins though.
guards, the two guards will come forward with Kel Onley, Arc Onley.
I give her
We'll
a
show
salute or whatever, a bow, whatever you would do.
Right. And the Archmage will pull out some documentation from a little leather satchel at his side and just stick them through the slot and say, "My soldier says you've lost your goblins?"
Yes. Kel Vaughn came by and took them. He needed them. He didn't really give me a reason. He just, you know how they are. And I'll flip through the
How
documents.
long ago was this?
This was the most recent trip.
Yesterday? 3 days ago? A month ago?
Oh, a few days ago. Can I think back to the document? Because I don't think you actually
in
gave me
check?
anything.
Yeah. Let's see if you can remember, because you
21.
scanned it really quickly. Yeah, Kilvon came through 4 days ago.
Yeah, 4 days ago.
Mage will nod.
And then I will pass back the documents if I don't need to do a seal or anything on my own, and then I'll open the gate.
Yep, you don't need to stamp them or anything like that. You can just open the gate, and the mage will go back to the cart.
I'll talk to the guard.
guards-
Sorry about that. You know how it is. Like, it's just me here.
Yeah.
Precautions.
They just blow you off. They understand. They accept.
Your mage can stay up
And-
top. The goblins slept downstairs, so I kind of shrug. It's stinky.
They make a kind of like they wrinkle their noses. They've had to sleep in and around. I mean, they're traveling with goblins, for Christ's sake. They understand.
I'll help them unhook the oxen, and I'll get if they will let me, whatever's normal.
Yeah. They
I'll lead the
appreciate
oxen
help.
out, and here I will get a look at the second cart.
Mm-hmm.
I know Grow's
second
head is
cart-
covered.
It's got a bear with a big bag over his head that you can see there are like singe marks on the bear's fur, as if someone must have been poking him with something hot. And now you understand Grow is a what do you call him? He's a vocal character. He's the sort of person who, if he's uncomfortable, he's going to complain. And you can get the impression that they've been like, when he whines or resists, that they poke him with hot sticks to get him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And there's also 3 humanoids with hoods and bindings
of
on
people
them in here as well.
Yeah,
Good haul.
I welcome him in.
There's
Yeah.
one of the guards.
Oh,
A bunch of
absolutely.
fireflies.
Oh my goodness.
Well, if you're
Those
short
terrorists?
goblins, yeah, bastards. If you're short some goblins, we'll put a couple of hours extra on watch tonight. Round out your numbers nice and evenly.
Yeah, finally. Good.
Okay.
You'll leave 2 on watch up in the towers?
They've got 4. the the soldier begins to say, yeah, one on each tower, and then the mage will shake his head and be like, well, let's not take any chances. But these ones, 2 goblins each tower. We want 2 of you on the wagons. And he points to you. Yours who? What's your name? Rank?
Sergeant Sequoia.
I need to see your documentation about Kelvon taking your goblins.
I nod and I'll go inside and I'll get the ledger.
Yep, they'll check it. It's all according to plan. They'll flip through everything, and then the archmage will grumble about people not respecting the way things are supposed to be. I need those watchmen. I can't have my goblins not sleeping every single night. They need to be able to, blah blah. Whinge.
It makes you feel
whinge.
better, Archmage. This is a very quiet encampment. I think 1 on each tower will do if your goblins do need some sleep, and I will be staying up and ensuring that they do their duties.
Can't afford the risks.
I know.
But I appreciate you volunteering for a night watch.
Absolutely. Like, someone's got to keep these filthy goblins in place. Am I right?
They try to suppress chuckles because the goblins are standing right next to you. But everyone's on the same page. It's okay.
You're gonna wanna stay upstairs, Archmage, because down here is where the goblins sleep. And let me tell you, the last 4 that I had did not do the quarters nicely. I haven't had a chance to keep it up since I'm the only one here.
At least we're not as hideous as you, pink skin.
Yeah. Shut it.
All right. Well, there are hours left before sundown. And so now you're going to have to... Entertain is not exactly the right word, but...
Manage?
Keep your low profile in and amongst all of these things.
I want to see who has the keys. I assume it's the Archmage. I'm not going to be, looking at him a ton, but it would just be like a cursory perception check to see who has keys on him.
The Archmage will bring in their stuff, including their little box of chickens. And they've got pouches all across their hips that jingle and have stuff in them. It's very possible that the keys slipped into one of those pouches or maybe into a pocket, or maybe it's like on a chain around the neck, but it's not like hanging in a super obvious place.
Got it.
I want to ask you for some sort of check to maintain the illusion for hours. I think a swimming check is exactly what we're looking for here. Let's see. Now the thing is that you've been in an organization like this before, and you've got an etiquette proficiency. And you are built for the part. You're more or less who they're expecting to be here. You do have an accent, but it's a big empire. People get pulled from all over the place. You do speak generally like a hoity-toity, highfalutin, well-raised person. Then that said, you've also been living in a swamp for years.
Yeah.
So I think you might have lost some of your high talk.
Do you lose that though? When it's when you were a prince and you're given it from birth and it's hounded into you by taking these classes, the etiquette classes and whatnot. I don't know. Would you
I think
lose
that
it?
you will have learned to speak more like the common man after a couple of years.
Makes sense.
But if you needed to turn it back on, you could turn it back on, right?
Yeah. So what do you want?
I want you to make me a charisma check at advantage. A charisma check at +2 for your etiquette proficiency and at advantage. So 2 charisma checks at +2.
1d20 plus 15. All right, so here's one. Okay, now I don't care about the other one. 32.
Yeah. Perfect. You have 13 charisma?
Yeah. Oh, no, I was looking at con. My charisma's 10. Sorry, so it would have been +12, so it'd be at 30.
Well, they still both pass.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. You can easily while away the hours until nightfall. Now to our other player characters.
Yes.
I'm not saying the nightfall arrives, just that you're not going to have any trouble.
I'm going to
here.
do some things maybe, but I'm going to think about it.
Sure. Arrakis, you're in the easiest to conceal location. You're out of the way. You're under a tarp. You actually have a little bit of wiggle room, and if you have to adjust your seating or something like that, you can do so without any trouble. I'm not going to ask anything from you. You're fine. You're easily hidden, no problems asked.
Great.
Renatus, you're an old man. You're standing up in one spot without moving for 4 hours.
Well,
But you've also been a soldier, right? You can stand at attention for long periods of time.
I think
So I kind of...
specifically, the way the dagger is worded is I just have to be still and in the shadows, right? So I could probably lean against the wall and get comfortable.
That's
and,
true.
Like,
probably
taking
shift your weight a
off
little
your
bit.
feet makes it a lot easier. And I can even, like, while I'm there, I can very gently, like, shift my shoulders against the wall to move my weight around to make it a little bit more comfortable. So,
You know what? You've sold me. You're fine. Fine, too. I love it. Destiny, Steven. Aelin.
That's a woman's name.
Shut up.
You're in a barrel. And right next to you, in this outpost, are a pair of goblins. And you can hear them talking, and they're setting things on the barrel. You know, they're bumping into it as they walk around. One of them sits on the barrel. It's going to be... You're right next to these fuckers. And you're cramped in this little... barrel's not standing room. It's squatting, awkward room. What do you think the challenges you might face for being in a barrel for long periods of time without moving might be?
You know, ordinarily, for an ordinary person, I think there might be challenges associated with maintaining your weight, not falling over, not making noise, not getting tempted to stretch and messing something up. But I feel like, one, I'm an elf, okay? When you say a long time, okay, maybe for you it's a long time, okay? I lived to like
That's true.
what, like 800 years old, okay? It's a single night. That's not a long time. It's not even a whole night. It's a few hours. Number one, and number two, this is my life, and this is kind of comfy compared to the normal places that I'm sure that me and my friends have been hiding with crazy amounts of guards, where the odds are heavily stacked against us. I'm sure that we're probably used to doing literally this exact type of thing constantly. Just because of our organization being part of the Fireflies and doing this in cities for, days, weeks, months, years. So I think it'd be trivial, I would say.
Now, when you're in a barrel, are you like in a squatted position, so that way if the top gets popped off, you can like leap out immediately and stab someone right away? Are you like in a cross-legged seated position, which is way easier and more comfortable to maintain, but if the top were popped off, like you could get out, but you wouldn't be in a sprung, ready to lunge position?
I mean, elves are a little bit. Elves tend to be a bit shorter than normal, right? Do I have like height?
Yeah, they're shorter and way less than humans.
Yeah, so I imagine it'd probably be pretty easy to be like in a half kind of crouch, where like my back is like leaning against, or even my butt is just like leaning against the barrel, so that if somebody were to open, I could spring out and poke them in the face if I need to.
Wouldn't that put the center of gravity like way off to the side? So if a goblin, like, the barrel would be just less steady. It wouldn't fall over necessarily, but if you're leaning your weight against the back of the barrel, wouldn't that make it easier to tip over?
I mean, it might, but I mean, I imagine the barrel is fairly heavy. It's a big ass wooden barrel with like metal bands on it. So unless somebody like gives it a shove, I don't think it would fall to.
I also kind of put it
side.
in like this corner here.
Okay. Why don't you give me dexterity check at +2 with advantage. So roll it twice. I think you have 17 dex, so roll me
you're
2
fine.
d20s plus
Should be
19.
Okay.
Don't roll 2 ones.
You just
Twice.
gotta roll one more.
That's all right. I just wanted to get that Koibu roll out of the way there.
Okay.
It's fine. You
okay.
just literally needed to not roll 2 ones. It's fine.
I got it.
Okay.
No problem.
The hours pass, and soon the sun begins to set, and everyone retreats inside. The goblins go downstairs. Upstairs go the 2 other wagon drivers. The 2 other soldiers will take off their armor before going to bed, because who in the world would go to sleep in armor? That's crazy pants.
True.
PCs.
Yeah. True.
The other 2 guards who were immediately resting upon arriving here are awakened, put on their armor. The other goblins get up into the towers. Sun goes down. Night arrives. August, the ball is yours. Unless there was something else you wanted to do.
No, there's like I'll look at the other cages, and I'll ask the guards like, "Oh, who are these guys?" I'll ask them about all 3 because I'm just curious before nightfall.
For the most part, the guards don't really know who these other people are. They're just doing their duty of moving things. But they will point out to the hobgoblin and say that the hobgoblin is an insubordinate officer killing son of a bitch who didn't like an order that he was given, and so he turned on his enemy, his commanding officer, and ran him through in the throat. Was subdued after wounding 2 other people, and is being brought back to the capital to make an example of. They seem to have a really low opinion on this hobgoblin. The hobgoblin is also similarly chained together, while most of the other prisoners in here are just freestanding. They can reach out if they want, but they don't have any weapons, and they look like civilians. They don't look like warriors, any of these.
Except the elves, yeah?
The elves, yeah.
And are the elves all chained?
And maybe the dwarves. The dwarves are pretty tough looking, but maybe they're not warriors. Maybe they're just regular dwarves. The elves are chained, they are gagged, and they have a hood over their head, and they have not been fed or watered since they arrived. The other prisoners were given some dry, stale bread, but the elves and the bear have not been given food or water since they've arrived.
Okay. I'm not actually sure really what to do. I think I'll be like, hey guys, I'm gonna go take a piss, and then I'll, walk to the back of the camp, and I'll make sure nobody's in fucking earshot of me, right?
I mean,
Go
there's
back here.
people on the other side of this wall, and the guards are 45 and 50 feet away.
Okay.
Goblins,
But I
and
could
everyone's
whisper.
on the other side of the wall. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna whisper as low as I can as I pee. There's 2 guards still awake and 4 goblins.
Okay. Wait for Ren to move on the wizard.
All right. 2 have plate on. And I'll finish my piss, and I'll kind of go back. Yeah. I mean, I can't just. I don't think there's anything I can do. I don't know how I would get him out of the camp just to go. Does anything happen through the night? Do we hear any weird shit outside that I could maybe
I don't want to fast
alert
forward
on?
to
Okay,
what
yeah,
has
yeah.
happened throughout the entire night.
Perfect. So at this point, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
So
Run at us.
I'm up in the loft, clutching a shadow dagger, getting comfortable, waiting for people to go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Do I see
Wizard
an
is
archmage?
Oh yeah, Archmage has come up and laid down. Now, I'm just going to move these people out of the way for just a moment so we can see the map here. The upstairs loft is arranged basically the same as the downstairs, except instead of this table, there are 3 more beds going this way. And you have been in the ladders in the middle section right here.
Right.
So we had you in this top right corner. I don't think it really matters which corner you're in. But
Right.
you're going to be in a corner, and there are going to be 8 beds up here, and 3 of the beds are going to be within, one of the beds is actually uncomfortably close. We just need to make sure that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people aren't in that corner spot. I mean, it's an undesirable spot to be all the way in the corner. Maybe
I would want to be in the corner.
Yeah.
you would want to be in the corner.
Well,
No,
there are
I said
people
who.
there are people who like to be in the corner.
I would sleep in the corner. And I'm a wizard, so take it that
Okay,
way you
well,
will.
pick a number between 1 and 8. Represent the bed in the corner, and then we're going to roll some dice and
1.
see who is where. 1?
Gotta be
okay.
1.
All right. So I'm going to roll to see which bed the wizard is in. And just for reference, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Is there a second floor that we should be seeing?
No, that we're
Okay,
just
just making
imagining
sure,
the
just
second
making
floor. Yeah. So here is where the wizard is. 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The wizard is in the opposite corner. And then the 2 guards are in this spot right here and this spot down here.
It's not very good.
And the 2 other wagon drivers are,
That's good.
here and here.
That's weird
perfect.
that they'd all sleep next to each other like that.
You know,
Yeah.
shouldn't matter as long as they're
this
asleep.
one guy
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here
yeah.
is just not very popular.
He's on the outs.
this person snores is the problem.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
You know, and so they get this spot in the middle, and everyone gets as far away from them as possible.
The wizard
I-
likes to be cozy in the corner, like I said.
I think with the
Yeah.
layout of this room, it's very easy for me to sneak to here, at least to this spot, right?
Yeah.
Silently. Moving very, very slowly over a period of minutes.
Yeah, well, I think this is the... I'm going to ask you to make me a move silently check, but as usual, I'm going to give the precursor that failing this does not mean you alert everyone. Succeeding means that there's no way anyone can possibly alert on you. And since everybody here is asleep, I'm going to give you a...
I already rolled it.
Plus 30 bonus.
All right.
Okay.
That was my
So your
dump
move silently
stat.
is not perfect.
It's okay.
So now we're going to ask you to just make a normal dexterity check.
You're killing me here. These rolls.
Right, and this is going to be opposed by their perception checks
Okay.
at half strength because they're asleep.
I got a 24.
They all roll it.
That's great. That's great. So our wizard is going to roll 1d20 plus 4. Wizard isn't going to notice you.
Okay.
Our 2 random cart people, where did I... Or
this
wagon
is killing me.
drivers.
This
Why
is
would you
great.
need move silently, dude? Why would you need move silently?
I did.
Because he needs... Yeah.
He needs to pickpocket Nick.
Needs
We
pickpocket, sure.
I'm,
It's fine.
I got
It's
No,
fine.
really
The wagon...
Stick them in pockets, okay?
That's good.
Fuck.
Boy.
Okay. And our soldiers... Oh, same rolls. Okay. 1d20 plus 5. Look at that. You just quietly slink all the way over, moving between these people until you're standing right above the wizard,
Nice.
who's napping as the sawing noises of the snoring person go through the room.
I get down. Okay, I'm holding the dagger, and I get down over him as quietly as possible. And in
Right, because if he wakes up, if he wakes up during this process or flails about, he might alert the people nearby him. You'll kill him for certain, but he might
And-
also alert people in the process.
here's what I'm trying to do: is I at no point of this is am I touching him, but I'm like over him, and I'm about to drive the dagger up through his chest into his thing, and simultaneously drop my hand onto his mouth, like
Excellent.
into his mouth, so that he can't scream.
Excellent.
He's fucked.
Okay. What role does this person get
Nick would
to
be so mad if
maybe
this happened to
alert
him.
somebody?
Could you imagine? No, because I'd have contingency stone skin.
Oh, smart.
Boom.
God, that'd be so terrifying if you're like an assassin
imagine?
and then
I
you
know.
would go to attack and they just like get stone skin and like their eyes pop open. Jesus.
that'd be so sick.
No, no, thank you.
No way that guy's got this going on.
How could
He's
you
an
possibly...
archmage.
Yeah, a Archmage in the field, probably.
What spell? Like,
This
there's
is
no
the
way-
Verossi Empire. I don't think people, my guess is people actually here don't like rise in ranks as often based on merit. It's a lot of bureaucracy and like, oh, who do you know?
True.
You know, that'd be my
It's
guess.
Like, it's like the EU, the Verossi
Yeah.
Empire. It's all that red tape.
Are you saying the
It's
EU's not a meritocracy?
No, I'm saying it's like the
Why
Verossi
would you
Empire.
fucking listen to the Brexit goblin? Okay, can we move on from this topic?
Brexit goblin. Unbelievable.
We're gonna just fucking throw a huge wild number. High is good, low is bad. It's in the middle. It's not good enough for him. He
I
dies.
fucking plunged that dagger into him.
Get Laura. Got it.
Man.
I gotta
Nice
come up
work,
with a
dude.
roll for this one day. This happens so rarely, but when it happens, it's important. This guy dies. You know, he makes a bit of a noise as the blade goes through his throat. One hand flails out to the side, and the person next to him just kind of like rolls over and away from him.
All right.
It's over.
On to the next one.
What's the next step of the plan? Oh, I guess this. Well, I've
It's
identified.
just you.
Yeah,
I've identified
waiting
the
on you.
guards. I guess. Okay, I will. This guard is not adjacent to anyone, right? The one that's in this bed here.
Well, I mean, his feet are next to her feet a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if I stand either side of his legs, and when I get down and plunge the dagger into him, I can control his legs a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna fucking execute another guy. Give me a roll. Give me a survive assassination roll.
It's not a survive. It's a possibly alert somebody while you're dying roll. And it's going to be a saving throw versus death.
Maybe-
That's what it is.
That makes
What
sense.
should it be like an opposed roll, like my dex versus their strength or something?
Oh, you're definitely killing him, but this is like, can I gurgle loudly enough? Can I flail loudly enough as I'm dying? It's just going to be a saving throw versus death. And then if it succeeds, there'll be a roll to see if anyone actually notices.
Okay.
So this guy does manage, like, as you're killing him, he's like screaming and gasping and kicking his feet, and the person next to him needs to make a perception check at half strength, which is a 1d20 plus 5, and she doesn't notice as he dies.
Next one up. Let's get slain.
Just going down the line.
Mister, I don't like to kill people. This one dies.
These guys have done wrong. The other guy hadn't.
The carriage driver?
No, I'm not.
They do wrong.
I'm not killing the carriage drivers. They're
okay.
dumb fucks. I'm killing the guards. I'm killing the scary people.
The guards are dead. Along with the
Perfect.
guards.
I poke my head down. So let's just assume those are non-combatants now. The guards. They might do something. Or I poke my head downstairs and we can move these bodies.
Yeah, the carriage drivers did have arming swords. As you were watching them come up into their bunks, they unbuckled arming swords off their sides and placed them down next to them.
They're
They weren't wearing
complicit.
armor.
Don't take it.
All right, fuck it. You know what? We love killing now. Let's get it on.
It's the Mad Rock.
I fucking plunged that blade into his supple flesh.
All right, they're dead.
Perfect.
Murdered everyone up here. Now downstairs, there are 2 sleeping goblins.
Shadowblade.
I fucking slip down that stairs like my life depends on it as silently as possible.
Now you've already failed that move silently check. So the goblins are going to make their perception checks at half strength to see if you... Oh, wait, give me a dex check for coming down. And then it's opposed between you and the goblins.
Perfect. Boom. Dexing. Oh, it's bad.
Fall on your ass.
He falls down the ladder. Oh!
Yeah, you come down the stairs. And these are shitty stairs. Like, the equipment here is bad. There's like a as the ropes bend, and one of these like cross beams just rolls slightly, and one of the goblins kind of startles at it, and begins to rouse their eyes. And they blink. You know, goblins have great night vision. They're usually active at night. In fact, these goblins are sleeping at night is like making you sleep through the day. They're very unhappy about having to sleep at night and travel during the day. It's not in their nature.
I will
but they
mutter,
see these beefy legs.
I will mutter saying, damn ladder's too loud. I'm gonna wake people up. Like I'm not trying to be quiet. Like I'm trying to be quiet so as not to wake people, so they think it's just one of the people upstairs.
That's clever.
Oh,
Give me a
wow.
charisma check.
Ah, easy.
31.
My fucking dump stat? Yeah, let's do it. Not
Dump
20.
it.
Big roll.
Ooh, fuck.
The goblin's like, I don't know that voice. That's a weird voice. And sits up in bed.
When he, do I see him sit up?
Yeah.
I'm no longer being quiet. I sprint at him and dagger him.
Excellent. I'm going to give him a surprise check to see if you get the drop on him. And let's roll initiative. 1d20 plus, 1d10 plus 3 for the goblin to grab the closest thing. It's an 11. Your initiative is?
Initiative attack, so...
The d10 plus 5.
Nine.
9. You will go first. Before the goblin can speak a word or say a thing, you can get attacks at plus 4 because the goblin's just like sitting in bed right now.
All right,
Their
I
AC is actually 10 because they're not wearing armor.
I get to him and I swing. Attack roll, so add 4 to this. This is 24.
Nice.
Oh
26.
my god. It's a critical hit. Roll me double damage.
So you want... What is it? So it's
2d8?
this plus a 1d8. Roll
Yes.
1d8. That's a boom. So that's 10 damage.
Oh, to the 1 HP goblin? Yeah. The sword goes through slices through the side of the neck. The head pops off. The sword thwaps loudly into the wood behind the goblin. The other goblin wakes up at the thwapping of the sword into the wood. And
As I pull the fucking horrible green goblin covered
doesn't
skin sword,
understand
He's a
what he
goblin.
sees.
and I just
rolls
say
a
fucking
3.
greenskins as I begin to attack this other one.
He rolls he nat 20s his awakeness. He fails his surprise check, so he wakes up and stares at the decapitated head standing next to him as you get round off before he can do anything.
I whisper menacingly at this goblin, "It's human time, greenskin." But I fucking attack him. Oh my god. Jesus.
You have plus 4 because he's prone.
12.
So it's a 12 is a hit, just a regular hit
5 damage.
That's enough.
to the 6 HP goblin.
Good.
Offhand
Initiative.
fist punch.
Oh, do you?
I would at this point I would be able to get my dagger out in like a single like right?
Do you usually attack with two
He
weapons?
usually
Because
attacks
you-
with 2 weapons. He does.
Or you're going to give me a bigger roll for wielding.
He's
my
got
bloody
2 weapon
hands.
fighting, so he can. Yeah, you will make your offhand attack at minus 2 with your fist. I think you said all you need to do is 1 point of damage. So just d20 plus.
It's a 9.
Not enough.
No.
Fuck.
Get ready, boys. We're going to
Initiative.
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 So I'm assuming we all hear.
Do we need to roll some
This.
perception checks out here?
Arrakis, you are right next to this. You will hear the thwap of something hitting wood hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside, I think there's a noise that comes from inside, but I don't think it's such a noise
Alerting
that you would
noise.
immediately be like, "Oh my god, grab your weapons." It's just like something
Someone
hits
needs to
a
get up and
wall.
go pee, you know?
Yeah,
They
it could be
stumble.
anything. I'm
Okay.
going to say the people outside don't notice yet.
Cool.
But if the goblin wins initiative this round,
It'll be.
then absolutely.
It'll
I
be
don't think
goblin
I-
time.
How easy, Neil, would it be for me to like peek out from under the tarp and get a view of the courtyard somewhat?
It's pretty dark, right?
You could peek out under the tarp and look this way. That would not be hard, but the goblins on watch do have much better night vision than you do, and so they will be
I
able
have
to
pretty good.
if they're
I
looking.
have pretty good night vision actually. Do they not have torches though? The goblins.
No, they don't have torches. They have because they have infravision.
Yeah. Okay. I don't. I mean, I peek a little bit, but I don't go out of my way to try and get a look.
Okay. Renata's Fur, roll me initiative against the goblin who rolls a 4.
Easy.
There's no way you can beat it.
What do you mean?
go at the
there's
same
no way I
time.
can
You have
beat
to.
it?
Low goes good. Low goes
Listen.
first.
I dropped the Shadow Blade. No, I'm just kidding. I roll.
Your initiative modifier on the Shadow Blade's a 5. You can literally not roll lower than a 4.
Wait, isn't it a 3? Isn't
Wait,
it a
it
3?
should be a dagger.
Should be a
No,
3.
it's
It's
a
a dagger.
It's a dagger.
Oh, it's a
thief,
3.
But it's
Okay.
a longsword.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. But you still rolled an 8.
Yep.
And so the
Could've been
goblin
a
will
4.
scream, "Ambush!" from the inside, grab whatever he's got nearby, which is just his dagger, and try to plunge it into you, Renatus, with an 8 to hit.
He
Miss.
missed.
Buddy. Unlucky, bud.
And go ahead and take your turn as everyone else begins to react.
At this point, I think I have my dagger in my offhand. That's
Yeah.
Is he still laying down?
Easy drawn. No, he's gotten to his feet.
No,
God.
you miss.
No +2.
No
This
plus
is,
2.
This is like the
Yeah.
perfect sequence. Kill, 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 kill. Get to the
One
last
goblin.
guy. Not one. Not one.
It's all right.
Not one.
We're at a good spot, though.
Offhand?
Roll into initiative, everyone.
I did the
If I
offhand,
wanted-
but missed.
Oh, did you do your main attack?
Yes,
did.
I rolled a nat
Oh,
one.
you
of
did.
the
Oh,
Shadow Blade.
I see. I'm so sorry.
Fucking.
All right, everybody, grab your characters. We're time for the real initiatives here. Let's do it.
If I want to stay
Goblin has-
concealed until I hear that it's like clear around me to come out or something, can I just roll an attack and then kind of like listen for it, or?
we'll just have you go last.
Okay. And there are 2 goblins on top of me, right? There's just one that's like on my token.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
you
go.
go. How's that?
Okay, making sure.
Perfect. Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goblins. I see 2 soldiers, Renatus, Scarp, Arrakis, Destiny. Everyone's in order. Let's go.
Oh, wait,
the
I
first
forgot-
one to go.
I forgot to roll in again. Sorry, that was my old
Okay,
initiative.
that's fine.
I will.
Roll a new one.
Oh, it's
Nice.
worse.
Excellent. The first goblin is the one inside, and he grabs that dagger and he plunges it into Renatus, barely scraping across the thigh of the inside of your thigh for 2 points of damage, Renatus.
I fucking hate goblins.
Yeah.
Based.
The next one to go is the goblin outside, who hears ambush and immediately reacts by grabbing his bow and
Looking outside, right?
Well, the cry came from this backside. And so the goblin is just going to assume that someone's coming over the walls. And so he turns around and will cover the walls with that turn. Same thing with this goblin over here. He turns around, notches the bow, readies an attack. The soldier will give the order, like, you two stay here, and will run
I
inside.
attack. That's an attack of opportunity.
That is an attack of opportunity.
I get him from behind, less AC?
Yes. You can get attack at +4 because he's expecting you to be an ally.
Yeah, well.
Lucky
Boom!
buddy.
Miss.
12 is still a miss. Whoosh! The glaive clatters against his backside, so he stops and turns and, whoops, comes for you with his spear. 18 plus 2 is a 20 to hit. Your AC is 15? That's a crit, my friend. He will do an additional 1d6 damage to you.
Unlucky
3 points.
buddy. 3 damage crit.
And,
Oh my god.
I know, but we're going to roll in the critical hit table because we want to do that, right? Remember people wanting that so badly.
What?
Last time we played.
No,
on your crit
no.
damage.
That was a different campaign, Neil. Come on.
I feel
no.
like we sometimes want to roll in the critical hit tables, and this is the perfect opportunity to do it.
Roll on the
It's a
crit hit
6.
table on
Insane.
a nat
It's a
1
2.
damage.
Insane.
Okay.
Yes. He injures your leg. You have minor bleeding and 2/3 movement. Minor bleeding is every 10 rounds you take D2 bleeding damage. And your movement is reduced by 1/3.
But that can get patched up by just anyone, right?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
The
I like
next
the crit
goblin
table.
archer will take a step over here. Here's fighting in the ranks below. Shooting into melee is an awkward thing, but he does have a nice height advantage, so he's going to do it. And on a natural one, he's going to accidentally target one of his allies.
Good.
But he will bow at you, which is a
Miss.
well, even with back attack, it's a miss. And the next one is the other soldier next to you who just turns and goes, "You bastard! I knew there was something wrong with you." And he stabs at you with another 18. 20 is another 1d6. It's another critical hit for 2
Come on,
damage.
he got 2 damage off that. That can't be a fucking
All right,
crit
we won't
table
roll on the table.
Thank
we
you.
won't
That's
roll it.
cringe.
It was minimal.
No. I think we should roll it.
No, we should roll it
I
if he
love
does
that.
anything but that. That is crazy.
Okay, minimum
okay.
is minimum. Yeah. Arrakis.
Okay. I
Also,
unveiled
technically, you're
myself.
supposed to fail a saving throw versus death to even be
Oh,
rolled on the
true.
table. So
Did we do that
so
for the
these
last
rules
rules
your
were
turn.
talked about the last crit. I'm sorry, where did these rules come from?
I forgot about him. I
I
forgot.
unveil myself from the top, Neil. Standing in the moonlight. Yes.
Yes.
Which I can see as well in as daylight because I am a level 4 shadow mage.
There it is.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that. You do
I
have
cast-
great night vision.
I cast sleep up here on these 2.
On
You have
them?
another sleep spell?
Yeah,
How
I
many
got-
sleep spells do you keep?
Hey, I had 3 today. I've got another one after this as well.
Jesus Christ.
It's the
Okay,
good-
roll me
that's the good
2d4.
It's night time for these goblins.
Night,
Go to
night.
sleep. 6.
Yeah, they're done.
I couldn't sleep then without sleeping you, mate.
That's okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You also have to have line of sight to, right? I think so. Anyway,
Probably, yeah.
yeah. Those 2 goblins are down. Renatus Fur, this goblin just stabbed you in the leg
Please.
for 2 points of damage after shouting and waking up everybody.
I am infuriated by this little green skin shitter and I attack him again. 19 to hit.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Can you do 1 point of damage to him?
Done.
Yes. Yes, you can. The goblin's throat lays open. No one will ever be able to sleep in these beds again, for they are soaked in the stinkiest of bloods.
Okay, before I run outside, I quickly look around the room. Do I see keys of any kind just left on a table?
Perception check. It's dark.
Perception is...
It's real
there?
dark. Nope.
No. All right, I don't see it. I'm like, fuck it. We got advantage. I run outside. I take assessment of the battle, and I immediately get a flank on this guy. And that's where I
Back
end my
attack
turn.
+2 to hit.
With my
Offhand?
offhand dagger... Sorry, I keep closing my character sheet. I will do this.
Oh, no good. All
Not
right.
one.
Okay.
Wait, is that advantage?
No, it's
No.
just +2 for back attack.
That's a 5e thing, isn't it?
This is a sleeping goblin. This is a sleeping goblin. I'm just taking them off the initiative order. August, it is your turn.
You skipped Destiny on accident?
He said he
Oh,
wanted
you're
to
saying
go
go
last.
to
Wanna go last,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, here you go. Glaive at the guy in front of me. +2?
No?
No? Okay. Only the person behind gets it. Got it.
Yeah. Another
Natural
natural one. It is the one
Classic.
party today. And finally, rising from the barrel, our guest, the hidden elf.
I will rise, and I believe I will take a swing at this guy right here next to me. I think I can probably attack from the barrel.
Yeah.
Surprise?
Not a problem. Yes,
Yeah, he should
I will
be
give you a
surprised.
full +4 to hit for surprise and back attack, and no one's expecting the barrel elf.
Expects the barrel elf.
18 2.
points
Do
of
I get a crit for the
damage.
surprise attack if it's a 22?
No, you need a natural 18 to crit.
Okay.
All right, that is the end of the first round. Let's roll. Oh, this guy had covered. This guy, no one showed up in his covered area, so it's over. Initiative.
All right. 12.
Oh,
Oops, that's the wrong one.
It's all right. You can save that for later, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Jeez.
oh. Spear. Spear. I think that is all the baddies. Let's sort. And first up is Goblin Archer, who cannot shoot at close range like this, so will drop his bow, pull out his dagger, and go to stab the elf in a barrel.
Elf barrel.
15 is a hit for another 1 point of damage.
A lot of ones.
The soldier on the ground will...
Wait, real quick. Would it be, do I get any kind of cover or anything from this, or how does this work?
Because he's in the barrel.
You
I am
would
in a
get
barrel.
cover from being in a barrel, but I would say the cover is probably about the same as the dexterity you would lose from
The barrel
like
tag.
not having. Yeah, because you get +3 to dex, +3 to AC for 17 dexterity. But I think
that's fair.
you lose that in a barrel.
Did we do end of round bonus attacks for fighters? Do you get one yet? Mooten?
Every other attack.
That'll
every
be
other
on this round.
Okay,
Does that
sorry,
mean
yeah.
if you only had 10 decks though? That if you fought inside a barrel, you'd have an
You
advantage.
get an advantage.
No, I think you're right. I think the goblin probably should get more bonuses to hit than is lost by the dex.
No, but he's a barrel elf, so he's used to fighting in barrels. He can take advantage of
Bro,
it.
I can
We
pop
already
up and down.
established
I
that
think
this
we're-
is
yeah,
like
we're
every
good.
day
Go to the next
stuff
round.
for him.
Wait, and don't
Keep
forget
going,
the
keep
goblin
going.
is short too, right? So he can't even reach up over the barrel. You know what I mean?
This guy will go to the back and attack
Range.
not Arrakis. Garp from
It's a
behind
hit.
with another +2 is a hit, but it's not a crit. It's just a hit. It needed a natural 18. You'll take the
right.
6 points. The guy in front of you is just gonna fucking stab you.
a miss.
13 is a miss, and we go back to Destiny. You want to stay in the barrel?
Yeah. Wait. What do we decide on my bonuses and minuses? Is it still okay?
I think
or?
you lose all your dex bonuses for being in a barrel, and I'll give you a penalty of 2 to your AC.
Get out of the
for
barrel.
it. So get out of the
Then
barrel.
I guess I'm getting out of the barrel. Yeah.
Love it.
Or I could. And then I get to take another swing at the guy in front of me.
Yep, it's your turn. You rolled in with the sword, so you're sorting, I suppose.
Crit.
That's a critical hit, though, sir. Roll me another D8 on top of that.
Hold on. 7
All
right
of
here.
ones. Oh my god.
You might kill him anyways, but I'm not sure.
Nope.
He lives.
He continues to live. Arrakis.
Come on, Nick.
Just checking that I can't see anyone and therefore cannot move and cast a spell. So
Correct,
just before
sir.
Moot gets on my ass, I just
No, you're
climb
good.
up
You're
here.
good.
All right, you scale the tower amongst the sleeping goblins. Now you
Yep.
have an excellent view of the battlefield.
True.
The goblin archer back here, he's going to drop the bow, pull out his dagger, and stab the elf. It's an 18, which is not a critical hit, but it will do 4 points of damage to our elf friend. Didn't you take 1 point earlier? You did, so you should have taken 5 points of damage.
Me?
Yeah.
You total.
Oh, okay.
It
Gotcha.
wasn't on your character. I'm adjusting.
Am I able to move here
August.
and not provoke attacks of opportunity because I'm not leaving
Yeah.
their range? Okay.
That's perfect.
I'm going to move there, and I'm going to use my glaive, and I'm going to attack the guy next to Ren.
Yep.
A 13.
Clatters against the shield.
That's my turn. If
Renatus.
it's the end of the round, then I go again.
I Shadow Blade. Shumph.
Hit.
24
Hit.
damage.
4
20 to
points
hit.
of damage.
There you go. Your friends are dead.
that?
Surrender. And
Actually,
then I
true.
dagger. Oomph. 13
It's a
to hit.
hit.
13 plus 2 for back attack is a 15. Without his
15
shield,
doesn't
he
have
has
shield.
16 AC. Unfortunate. So close. Off by 1.
I will call out.
Um,
All of your friends are dead, and the Archmage is dead. We have a wizard on our side. Surrender, and we'll let you live.
oof. Why don't you take your extra attack at the end of the round, and we'll roll morale
There you
next
go.
round.
It's a miss.
It's a miss. Okay. I'm going to roll initiative for these people, and then I'll make morale checks on their turn.
Cool. I'm gonna roll initiative.
You know the fight's going bad when we start talking to the
Begging
NPCs,
them to
being like,
you surrender.
You should surrender.
You should probably surrender.
I see 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 4. There we go.
Nice.
First up is Renatus Fur.
I plunged
Get him
my dagger
again.
in this guy's back.
You can do it. Oh, it's a fucking miss.
You're
In
offhand?
hand? Offhand? Oh my god, the
Let's not
rolls
surrender.
are terrible. Arrakis.
I'm reloading roll 20. This is fucking.
You gotta get a new seed.
I wave my hands around in magical fashion. I utter some arcane words, and I draw in energy from around me and blast out a ray of enfeeblement
Nice.
at this guard
On?
down here. This
On?
one, the full health one, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Is it a saving
which-
throw for him?
It is a saving throw, but because we are in darkness,
It's -2.
I am a shadow mage. It's
It's on AO sheet.
Moonlight, so -2. Yeah.
So that is a failure. That 17 becomes a 15, and
Shadow Mage value.
Shadow Mage.
He is reduced to a strength of 5.
Oof.
Oh,
He
can he
can
even
carry his armor.
carry his body?
Down at 5 strength. He will now be. I didn't add all of his gear together. His encumbrance is terrible. His max press is 25. He is overly encumbered
Yeah,
immediately.
he's just like crushed to the ground, right, by his armor.
I do believe he is going to drop to one knee. Yeah, just falls to the ground.
Dude, that spell is insane.
That's a really good spell against a knight. Yeah, that's crazy.
This goblin will stab at the elf. 18 is a hit, but not a crit for another 3 points of damage.
800-year-old goblin dying to 2L. Sorry, elf. Fuck.
Oh my god. I want to see Koibu kill somebody with Ray of Enfeeblement plus that heat armor spell. Like your armor
Yes.
starts to kill you and you're
Crazy.
too weak to take it
Brutal.
off.
You're just cooked alive.
Spear misses August. Goblin will stab again with a miss. Other spear against August is another natural 1. And our elf. Out of the barrel. That's what they say. In elves when they come out. Is that they've come out of the barrel.
Oh, right.
Who put them in the barrel?
Would
You're good to go, Steve.
the goblin put them in the barrel?
Elven society.
Alright, I will swing at the one in front of me.
Hit.
Nice.
And there we go.
Hey, damage.
Now the goblin goes down. I was supposed to roll morale on these people, and I forgot.
It's all right.
He needed.
They
Yes,
pass.
that was a pass. He needs 11 or less. This one will fail, and the goblin is fine. So this guy who just went, you are all saying surrender. Rolled at 22, and he needed less than an 11 or less. So he, I think he just takes his spear, plunges it face down into the dirt, drops the shield, and leans back up against the cart.
I'm gonna tell me if I can do this instead of attacking with my glaive. Can I just kick the guy who's Ray of Enfeebled over? Or I could just push him with my glaive, I guess. I just want to topple
yeah.
him onto his back.
Yeah, he's prone. He's down.
Okay, good. So yeah, we won. We did it.
Hold on, there's one goblin
There's one
left.
goblin.
No, the goblin here, dude.
Okay, you roll in then. That's your goblin. I
Yeah,
don't know about
this
it yet.
goblin, he's not even facing the backside. All he knows is that there's a stinking elf in front of him. And this is it. This is his moment. This is why he joined up with the army of Rossi, was to get some of that sweet, sweet goblin, that elf flesh. You know what it tastes like, guys? It tastes like pure ambrosia. It tastes like honeyed pork that's been like seasoned over cherry wood.
He's also
Wants
found
it.
like the only non-level 15 elf that he might actually have a chance of killing.
Yes.
So
we have a deep-
he's very fortunate here.
I think the two of you tie in initiative and you strike at each other at the same time. You get a 10, he gets another natural 1, and everyone else can hear that there's still a struggle going on in the tower, but the positioning is awkward. I don't know if anyone can even join you up here.
Ren, go
I'm
find the
just gonna-
keys.
I just start killing the goblins up here that are sleeping near
Yeah,
my
that's
tents.
Perfect. Roll me initiative there, Destiny.
I'm gonna take the weapons off of these guys and tie them up.
Goblin will miss you. All you got to do is 3 points of damage. Just hit him
Alright,
for 3.
It's coming. Okay, right here. This is the one.
Natural 20.
You were so rusty. You were so rusty at this game.
He's an
Oh my
archer,
God.
okay? That's what we do here, all right?
That's true, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. The goblin goes first again. He nat 20s you. He criticals you.
We're
for
rolling on the crit
1
table, right?
Plus 3. It's 4 points of damage.
Saving throw versus death?
It's actually a 1d6 on the table. It's a 1. It doesn't matter what the severity. Okay.
So 6 HP.
Um,
Sorry,
but
we're
you-
good, we're good. 13. That's a hit.
13
Yeah.
hits.
Pretty
And
down.
there we go. And the
Okay.
goblin
Nice work.
dies. Well, the enemy lies dead at our feet. We're at the end of our showtime. So I'm going to do a little bit of hand waving because our guest won't be here next week. The elf, you will find the keys. They were on the wizard. You
Spell
can free prisoners as needed. We're just going to start with the elves and the bear. And once the elves are together, they're going to tell you they got to get the fuck out of here, but they will meet you in Swampside at some undetermined point in the future. It could be weeks, it could be months from now. You know, elves, it could even be years. But they will meet you in Swampside to talk to you one day, but they need to get the fuck out of town before anyone else comes. And then you can do whatever you want with the prisoners.
What about the bugbear?
And the hobgoblin?
No, the... Oh, yeah, sorry, the hobgoblin.
They're yours to do with as you please.
Like, we'll deal with them next time, I guess.
Yeah,
So
we
I
can deal
guess
with them next
we
time.
say our farewells to Thyron and, you know,
And Forest,
and Forest as well.
My
Yeah.
cousin.
What are the other
Yeah,
elves'
you know.
names, too?
elf number 1 and elf number 2.
Okay. Goodbye, elves. It was a pleasure serving with you. Thank you for helping us accomplish this great task.
We
It
bow
was
and
an
nod,
incredibly
and, you know,
productive episode of this show. Thank you, guys.
I'm sure if you ever need help from the Fireflies in this city for whatever reason, maybe you'd be able to find us so we can see what we can help you with.
What's a good way that we can find you if we ever need to talk, like in Swampside? How can we reach out to you? I ask Koibu.
Oh, I
Is
thought
there a
you were
message we
asking him
can
to
put
plug
anywhere?
his like YouTube or Twitter.
No, oh no, that would be good though.
No, they're secretive organization by nature. They're absolutely not going to reveal any way to contact them. That would go
Okay.
against their
Yeah,
entire
that makes
principles.
sense. Okay, cool.
right. Well, that's gonna be it for today.
We loot 'em.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for Steven.
Yeah,
For,
thank you for
to play with
coming.
us.
Thanks
It's
for
great
having
to, great to get you on board again.
Fun to do a heist and a fight, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.
All right, we'll see you
Thanks very
guys next week for some more Save or Die Outcasts. Bye bye.